game. And, a very exciting offense to watch, and I'm sure you're just excited to see a team that is a year removed from a state championship.
Yeah, excited to see. They've been very dominant. Only one loss on the season, and it's clear why they're in the position that they're in. And to be able to dominate in not only round one but round two, it's going to make for a very interesting matchup coming out here today.
The winner of this game goes on to take on the winner of Dundee County Stratton and Plainview, a matchup but with Dundee County that you would like to see again next week. But in all the reality, you got to get through this week to get to next week, and that's exactly what head coach Jeremy Reimers and I talked about earlier this week, and that conversation is coming your way next. This is the Class D1 football quarterfinals on 94.1, the brand between Bridgeport and Sandy Creek.
In Nebraska?
Nobody knows trucking like the experts at Flatland Enterprises. Flatland Enterprises is a proud sponsor of Sandy Creek Athletics. The Fairfield Co-op is a small-town co-op that strives to bring the best customer service to you and is a proud supporter of Sandy Creek Athletics. Go Cougars!
JPL Crane Incorporated is proud of the hard work the Sandy Creek Cougars have put in this season. Good luck and go Cougars!
Bridgeport Bulldogs, seated at number 6 in the state, hit the road to take on the number 3 Sandy Creek Cougars. Earlier this week, I caught up with Bridgeport head coach Jeremy Reimers as he talks about last week's win over Wausau Osmond.
Yeah, I thought we did a lot of really good things. Obviously, had some concerns on our kickoff team, and it was just a couple little minor things when you go back and watch film that are easily corrected. So hopefully we get that thing changed, because they had two almost really big plays on that, and one we ended up causing the fumble on. Otherwise, it could have been a really big play. So get those couple things cleaned up, and then the other time as coaches we talked to, one of those touchdowns was probably more on us than anything. So, just being sound in what we do, and just not overthinking ourselves, because we had plenty of that ourselves. So we took some of that on us that last game as well, because there were some things on offense and some things on defense that us coaches could have maybe done a little better. But the kids are just resilient. They're such a great bunch. And when you go back and watch film, and they weren't rattled at all. And I thought we performed very well offensively and defensively. They did something we weren't ready for on offense, and by the time we finally figured it out, then we were moving the ball at will by the time the second half came around. And really proud of the offensive line in that one, because it was kind of a weird front. We pretty much had to tell them at halftime, this is probably how they're going to line up most of the time, and if they don't, you guys just got to figure it out, because they kept changing the front and changing. They were in a 2 front, and then they were in a 3 front, and then they did some weird things to try and confuse us up front. A really big kudos to the offensive line. There were some times we called a play and then they blocked it, and we were like, what the heck blocking scheme was that? But we go back and watch on film, and they blocked everyone, and they counted for everyone, and they just talked. And what a special group of offensive linemen to open up holes in the running game and do some things. You go back and watch, and that was one of the things that was the coolest to me. seeing the offensive line just have to full-on commit to each other and communicate and make sure we got a hat on a hat no matter where the threats are coming from, and it was pretty cool, actually, to see that. So.
You talk about the fumble caused on the kickoff return, and Nick gave me one of the greatest lines I've heard all year on the post-game show. Every time Logan Levick does something on the football field, Nick says he thanks God for Logan Levick. How great is it to have Logan back at this point in the season?
Yeah, he's just such a great kid. Like, I mean, and obviously a great playmaker for us too. And I felt so bad for him at the beginning of the season when we thought maybe we lost him, and then we got good news, and then figuring out he's coming back. And I mean, just great for the kid, and he's such a phenomenal kid. Like, he does all of the right things. He always showed up every day to weights in the summer. He got so much bigger, faster, stronger, cared about his diet. Just a great kid. He's quiet, kept, but like, you tell him to do something, he's like, yeah, coach, no problem. So, like, if you ask him to jump off the bridge, he probably wouldn't ask any questions. He'd just go do it. Like, he's such a phenomenal young man. A lot of that comes from his parents, but, like, happy for him and cool he gets to have some of those moments. And, yeah, he's just a great player. Like, he goes and makes plays, doesn't give up on things, causes a huge turnover, gives us a chance to get the ball, and then obviously that was a weird 30 seconds, but then eventually it ended up being a touchdown. But, it was a pretty cool moment.
A guy that's worked his way into the rotation, especially on the defensive front, that I want to spotlight as well. Ray Roberts, worked his way in there quite a bit in recent weeks. And what does he give you guys on the defensive line, right up the middle there at that nose tackle spot?
Yeah, he's just he come in, day out. I mean, he came back to us from Gehring this last year, and then we didn't know quite where his role was going to be, and he kind of had some learning pains early in the JV line, but then he just kept making plays in JV, and we eventually said as coaches, like, I mean, if you're making this many plays in JV, we got to see what you do in the varsity level. And then he goes out in varsity, and sometimes his job at nose guard is not the flashiest thing, but he eats up double teams, and he does a really good job. And actually, we're starting to see him to make some big plays now. Like, he's had a couple tackles from nose guard position in some games, and, like, he's just a team kid. Like, he wants the best for the team, and he's a good kid, and happy for him to get those moments. And it's just because, like, he stuck the course and stuck it out and kept giving effort in practice and giving effort in JV. Like, you always love those stories, especially when you're a coach. So.
And now he gets a chance to play in the biggest game maybe in Bridgeport history, hit the road, headed to Sandy Creek Friday. Let's talk about the Cougars. Obviously a state championship team a year ago, and not a lot of fall-off from last year. Let's talk about the Cougars. Give me your scouting report on them.
Yeah, they're dynamic, a lot like we are. I mean, they can throw it just as good as they can run it. They're actually over 50% pass on the year. They have a sophomore quarterback who's really dynamic and can really sling the ball around. He's got a strong arm and can push it downfield, and elite receivers who can catch it. So, and then not to mention, like, he's just as good of a runner, and they have a good back and a really good up front line, and they do a good job all around. So we got to be ready in all facets, that's for sure. And defense, they're just sound. They don't let you beat them deep. So obviously we're going to have to take what they give us and just be ready to take our shots when they give us certain looks. But, like, they're a really solid team all around. And I mean, when it comes down to that, like, playmakers just got to make plays, and we got playmakers too. And our playmakers just got to make more plays than them, and obviously limit the big play and go have a big, fun game. So,
thank you to Coach Reimers for having a chat with me earlier this week. We will step aside when we come back. Pre-game coverage continues for the Class D1 quarterfinals here on 94.1 The Brand.
In Nebraska.
Nobody knows trucking like the experts at Flatland Enterprises. Flatland Enterprises is a proud sponsor of Sandy Creek Athletics. The Fairfield Co-op is a small-town co-op that strives to bring the best customer service to you and is a proud supporter of Sandy Creek Athletics. Go Cougars!
JPL Crane
Nobody knows trucking like the experts at Flatland Enterprises. Flatland Enterprises is a proud sponsor of Sandy Creek Athletics. The Fairfield Co-op is a small-town co-op that strives to bring the best customer service to you and is a proud supporter of Sandy Creek Athletics. Go Cougars!
JPL Crane Incorporated is proud of the hard work the Sandy Creek Cougars have put in this season. Good luck and go Cougars!
Train Armour back with you alongside Justin Reimers. Starting lineups being announced in Bridgeport. Good travel for the Bulldogs. The band and cheerleaders all here in full force. Brought a whole fan bus down. Pretty fun to see that pull up. Great community, of course.
Oh, absolutely. You know, it's something that they did last year actually during basketball. I remember my son being like, can I jump on a bus at midnight so we can travel to Lincoln to watch the girls play basketball? Bridgeport, they sell out. They travel well.
Bridgeport sells out. They travel well. They will get the ball to begin this contest. Let's look at that starting offense that we've become so accustomed to seeing. Landon Dean, Cody Bates are your two tight ends. Gage 9, split out wide. That's senior who was held in check last week. Not a single catch for Gage. See if he can come alive this week in a quarterfinal game. Cole Leadhead, Caden Schultz, Cooper Raymick, guard, center, guard across that offensive line. Nick Weibert, your starting quarterback. James Jeffords, your single back to his left hip, the junior. That's the Bridgeport starting offense. And then for the Sandy Creek starting defense, Christian Shaw, Josh Spray, Wes Biltoff, and Jackson Gerdes across that defensive front. Alston Clark is your middle linebacker. Cam Seeley, Alex Watts, and Caden Schmidt are your defensive backs for the Sandy Creek defense. Sandy Creek starting lineups being announced now. Rocking the red tops, white numerals outlined in black with the white helmets. Red line down the middle of the helmet, red face mask, Cougar on the side, white pants, no design there. Bridgeport, road white tops, white helmet. Purple numerals outlined in yellow, I believe. Don't take my word for it. They're too far away right now. White helmets, yellow and purple down the middle. Yellow pants. Such a good look for the Bridgeport Bulldogs. Arguably one of the best looks in the state I've seen argued in recent weeks on social media.
Oh, I would 100% agree. It's one of those uniforms. They remind me of the LSU unis. Whether they're home or away, it's a very sharp look no matter where they travel.
Both of us our first time in Fairfield, Nebraska, just outside of town to visit Sandy Creek, and we've been thoroughly impressed so far. And we're watching a nice little introduction video across the way. A different setup as the scoreboard is directly across from us with a big old video board on it, and it's a great setup. But I heard that some visiting coaches don't like it too much, as they have to look over their shoulders instead of the end zones.
Yeah, it's definitely a different view, different vantage point. You know, it gives the crowd, because there's only one set of stands over here, a chance to be able to view it. But something that we've seen in a few high schools, I think this might be one of the first Class D high schools I've seen it, though. Everybody moving to those digital video boards. Saw it a lot in baseball last summer, too. So it's definitely really cool to see, and it adds a viewing element to the fans.
And not only that, we have a great job. I was talking with Jeremy, who runs Sandy Creek's media program down here, and they do a fantastic job with everything they do. We're seeing it on full display right now with the video board starting lineups being announced for a Class D1 school in straight southern Nebraska. And for kids, you know, you got to love it, and it gets them involved.
Yeah, it gets them involved, and, you know, it gives you that little jolt of energy almost. It's like, you know, it's a little bit of pride, like, yeah, that's me up there on that board. So definitely an exciting thing to see for them. Talking
to Jeremy, though, their media guy, he did say he had to hide the video from these kids this week because a lot of the kids, he said some of his kids in class, the real good ones are all football players, so he couldn't let them see this and get full heads this week. So that was fun to chat about. Let's talk about how these two teams got here up to this point. Bridgeport started up with a big old 48-26 win over number 27 Clarkson Lee in the first round, and then they went on to defeat Wausau Osmond after starting in a hole last week, number 11 in the state playoffs last week. And now we'll step aside as we step aside for the national anthem here at 94.1 The Brand.
Nobody knows trucking like the experts at Flatland Enterprises. Flatland Enterprises is a proud sponsor of Sandy Creek Athletics. The Fairfield Co-op is a small-town co-op that strives to bring the best customer service to you and is a proud supporter of Sandy Creek Athletics. Go Cougars!
JPL Crane Incorporated is proud of the hard work the Sandy Creek Cougars have put in this season. Good luck and go Cougars!
All set for kickoff in Fairfield, Nebraska. Sandy Creek and Bridgeport battling in the D1 football quarterfinals. Sandy Creek won the toss. They deferred their choice to the second half. They will boot it away from right to left with their German exchange student in Berger, set to boot it away, the righty. He has got a good leg on him. Saw last week, kicked a field goal, and the Bridgeport will receive from left to right. Again, booting it away is Ben Berger, the senior for Sandy Creek, kicking off from right to left. Bridgeport will return from left to right. We're happy to have you along. Trayton Harmon, Justin Reimers, Alvin Harmon, ready to bring you this one on 94.1 The Brand. Chance at the semifinals next week against either Plainview or Dundee County Stratton on the line. Berger set to boot it away from 7 yards away. He will approach with the right foot, puts it into it, and we are away in Sandy Creek. It's a good kick by Berger into the end zone. Jeffers will track it down, but it's a touchback, and the Bridgeport will start their opening drive on the 15-yard line. Touchback's a big thing. We've seen a lot of this year. That can really be a big turning point, just field position-wise.
Yeah, it absolutely can. It's one of those things, if you can control special teams, that's one of those three phases of a football game that really give you a leg up, and just a great boot. It's a very calm night, very different from what we experienced in Bridgeport last week.
Very different from what we experienced 30 minutes ago, standing down on the field, talking with the Bridgeport AD, Dave Coolin. Bridgeport begins 9, split out to the top of the set. Weibert in the backfield, flanked by Henry Blanco on his left hip. Also in there is Riker Norman as Bridgeport shaking things up on the first drive of the contest to start things off. Direct snap back to Blanco. Blanco working to his right, and he's gobbled up before he can even get back to the line of scrimmage. A loss of 1 yard on that carry for Henry Blanco as the Sandy Creek defense flowing from left to right early on. 2nd and 11 on the way for Bridgeport.
Yeah, just a really good play made there by Jackson Gerdes, being able to shed that blocker from the guard and just make the play at the line of scrimmage.
So now Bridgeport 2nd and 11 from their own 14-yard line on the near hashes, where they will snap it. Cody Bates engage 9, bottom of the set. On the boundary side, top side, Landon Dean, the only tight end on the line. Bates now in motion from right to left. Will go to the field side. Bates comes set on the top side. Now he'll motion back down towards the line. Snap back, Weibert, option all the way. Reed, he's got it up the middle for a 4-yard gain up that left hash to bring up 3rd and 7 for Bridgeport on their opening drive.
Yeah, something we saw last week a lot from Weibert, being very decisive with running the football. We saw a little bit more of what we saw his freshman and sophomore year, being more willing to run the football. Definitely something they needed here in this playoff run.
So we'll call it 3rd and 8 officially for Bridgeport. Opening drive of the contest. They're up to their own 17-yard line on the far hash. They'll go trips to the bottom of the set. Bates, Dean, and 9 in the slot. Weibert empty set in the backfield. Top side, backside tight end is Riker Norman. Weibert hits the back of his drop, pressure in his face, evades it to his left. Now he's going to run it himself up to the 20, across the 20, diving forward to the 25, going to come up a yard shy at the 24. That's going to be a 7-yard carry for Nick, and I think he's about a yard shy of that first down to bring up 4th down on this opening drive.
Yeah, big decision right now here for Coach Reimers. Yeah, you're on your side of the field, but you're really, really close on this one. Does he decide to roll the dice early in this football game to try and take the momentum?
See what he does here. Saw Henry Blanco, the punter, enter the huddle alongside Riker Norman. See what they decide to do here. Lining up in a traditional set. Ready to go for this on 4th and 1 from their own 24-yard line are the Bridgeport Bulldogs. 9, bottom of the set on the field side. Now Blanco sprints up to the line. They go straight, direct snap to Henry Blanco, and he was stuffed at the line. Did not get there. Bridgeport will turn it over on downs to begin this contest and give it back to Sandy Creek at the Bridgeport 24-yard line.
Yeah, Bridgeport rolled the dice there on that one. Blanco coming up under center, something we have not seen all year. And Sandy Creek not fooled. They blew Bridgeport off the line on that one, into the backfield to blow that one up.
So Sandy Creek gets it at the Bridgeport 24-yard line with 9:58 remaining in the first quarter. Single back set on the left side of Cam Seeley. Now in motion from right to left. Bridgeport jumps into the neutral zone. And not a mistake you see a lot is Landon Dean, the first one to jump into the neutral zone there and get flagged for offsides.
No, not somebody you see flagged very often at all, but you could see it probably just that those juices flowing, that energy flowing, and not being sound. And tough break there for the junior.
So Sandy Creek gets the early advantage on this drive. They march it, get 5 free yards. Now first down and 5 before they have their first snap of the contest. Does Sandy Creek. They'll go with a wing to the left side. That's Wes Biltoff, the junior. And single back set for Cam Seeley. Top side is Watts, your single receiver. Flips it to Biltoff. Biltoff, big 6'6" frame, tumbling forward right at the sticks. Looks like it's going to be enough for a 5-yard carry and a first down to give Sandy Creek a fresh set of downs. In fact, it will be a 6-yard carry for Biltoff to give Sandy Creek a fresh set of downs at the 13-yard line.
That actually looked really similar to something we see from the Kansas City Chiefs in the NFL. That actually looked more like that short little shovel pass right in front of him to get just guys in position.
I'm in Sandy Creek, Nebraska, and I can't avoid hearing about the Chiefs. It's great. Trips to the top side. Bridgeport almost jumping into the neutral zone once again. Now Sandy Creek will shift out of their trip set to the top side. Single back is now Caden Schmidt on the right hip of Cam Seeley. Far hash snap for the 13-yard line. Seeley has it. He's going to pull it down himself. Quarterback run game strong for the Sandy Creek team. He cuts it back up the middle, and Cam Seeley into the end zone. 13-yard rushing touchdown for the sophomore. That's Cam Seeley's 25th rushing touchdown of the year, and Sandy Creek leads it 6-0 with 9:22 remaining in the first quarter.
Man, he has shifty feet, and that's the same zone read play we see the Bridgeport Bulldogs run a lot. And him just be able to make one man miss at the line of scrimmage, finds that alley, puts his foot in the ground into the end zone.
Seeley empty set with 2 wings to the right side on this 2-point try for the Cougars of Sandy Creek. He took it in himself from 13 yards out for the opening score of this game after Bridgeport gave the Cougars a short field. Seeley snap back, fakes the flip, looking back corner of the end zone and going up and making that grab. In the back right corner of the end zone is Logan Tomke for the 2-point conversion. Sandy Creek leads Bridgeport 8-0, 9:22 remaining in the first quarter on 94-1 The Brain.
Nobody knows trucking like the experts at Flatland Enterprises. Flatland Enterprises is a proud sponsor of Sandy Creek Athletics. The Fairfield Co-op is a small-town co-op that strives to bring the best customer service to you and is a proud supporter of Sandy Creek Athletics. Go Cougars!
JPL Crane Incorporated is proud of the hard work the Sandy Creek Cougars have put in this season. Good luck and go Cougars!
Sandy Creek strikes first, 8-0 your score, 13-yard rushing touchdown, Cam Seeley Berger. This one goes through the hands of Jeffords and into the end zone for a touchback, and Bridgeport will start once again at their own 15-yard line. Talking about execution for Sandy Creek, and it was on display right there.
Yeah, execution both offensively and defensively, been lights out. From the defensive side with the Bridgeport offense coming back out on, it's been their defensive line controlling that line of scrimmage, and then offensively, man, they make some moves and they make excellent reads whenever they do that zone read fakes.
You want Bridgeport to take some time to settle into this game, but the point-blank period of the situation is you don't have time to settle into this game when a team comes out executing the way Sandy Creek did. Bridgeport's second drive begins once again at their 15-yard line right between the hashes. Gauge 9 top of the set. Landon Dean, Cody Bates, the 2 tight ends on the bottom side with Bates, the wing back. Blanco in the backfield, flanking the left hip of Weiber, and Blanco's going to run into his own man before tumbling forward for a 2-yard gain to bring up second down and 8 at the 18-yard line.
Yeah, big miscue by the offensive line there. There was two pulling guards going against each other. Unfortunately, just a miscommunication there on which play they were running, which way that ball was going. Good job by Blanco, still able to pick up 2 on the play.
Yep, 2 yards on that play. Make that the 17-yard line where they'll set up once again right between the hashes with 9 split to the top side once again. Same set, except now it's Landon Dean with Riker Norman behind him on the right side. Another handoff to Henry Blanco, who tumbles up to the 19-yard line. Another 2-yard touch for Henry Blanco there. Brings it to the near hash on 3rd down and call it 5.5 for Bridgeport.
Yeah, right now this Sandy Creek football team, they are sound in their run fits. That defensive line, they're getting separation, and they're able to control that offensive player no matter what, no matter where the ball's going, and then able to shred to make stop them for minimal gains so far.
3rd and 6 on the way for Bridgeport from their own 19-yard line, shaded to the right hash. 9 will split out to the top side for Bridgeport as they trail it 8-0 to Sandy Creek. 8:15 remaining in the first quarter. Wybert shotgun set, Blanco on his left side. Snap back, Wybert. 3-step drop, hits the back of the drop, flings it downfield for 9. That pass deflected into the sky, falls safely incomplete at the 35-yard line, but now a punting situation for Bridgeport here on their second drive.
Yeah, tough break there for Wybert. Had a man. 9 had a step on that little 5 and post route and just sailed the ball on him just a little bit and went through his hands.
So first time we'll see Henry Blanco set to boot it away this evening. Alex Watts to return this kick for the Sandy Creek Cougars. His heels firmly planted at the opposite 19-yard line as the line of scrimmage set to boot it away is Henry Blanco with the ball being snapped from the 19. Blanco right foot into it on the way. It's a high wobbler that's going to drop at the 33 and take a Sandy Creek bounce. Bridgeport will down it at the 36-yard line, and that's where Sandy Creek takes over on their own side of the field.
Yeah, right now, tough sledding on both sides of the football here for Bridgeport early. Sandy Creek coming out, acting like they know they should be here, being the aggressor on both sides of the ball.
7:59 remaining in the first quarter. Those aggressive Sandy Creek Cougars lead it at this mark. 8-0 your score. Bridgeport defense back out there as we have a quick stoppage of play here on the near sideline awaiting the play call to come in, it almost seems. It is Alex Watts on the near side getting attended to. And now they're ready to go. He's not getting tended to. I shouldn't say he's injured. He's just getting some extra attention on the sideline. Looks like something wrong with the equipment. So in the slot on the top side for Sandy Creek, 2 receivers in the slot is Wes Biltoff. Cam Sealy, 3-step drop, flips it into the flats into the hands of Caden Schmidt. Schmidt, full head of steam, has enough for a first down before he's shoved out of bounds at the opposite 33, make it 33-yard line is where Sandy Creek has it, and Henry Blanco is down on the opposite sideline for Bridgeport.
Yeah, one of those plays that is so tough to defend. You see it at all levels. It's just that safety valve, that back slipping out of the backfield into the flat, that makes the linebacker have to get there and track down towards him, and an easy pickup on first down.
So Schmidt on the reception has a first down and now into Bridgeport territory. And a stoppage of play on the far side official as they tend to the sticks that came undone when Henry Blanco tumbled out of play on the far side. So fix the sticks real fast as the chain came undone from the bottom of the near side sticks. We're all set to go. Now the set is ready to go. Single back set for Sealy. To his left is Caden Schmidt once again. 2 receivers top side for Sandy Creek. In motion now is Hamburger. Hamburger gets the flip. Hamburger trying to stretch it to the outside across the 30, 25, chopped down at the 23-yard line by Nick Weiber. Another first down carry for Sandy Creek. That one goes for 12 for Wyatt Hamburger. His first 2 touches of the his first touch of the season actually comes in motion. So first down now for Sandy Creek, and I think that officially goes as a pass actually on the flip. That's why he probably doesn't have any carries as they like him in motion there.
Yeah, that's that zone read action, but what it turns into be because he comes so flat to the line of scrimmage, it's actually a pop pass. So it that goes down in the passing category for a 12-yard pickup.
So Sealy single back set once again. It's Alston Clark, the senior, now on his right. Fakes the handoff. Sealy keeping it himself with extra blockers to the right side. Sealy into the open field across the 5 and across the goal line. That's a touchdown for Sandy Creek. 21 yards. Cam Sealy, second rushing touchdown of the evening for the Cougars. And it's 14-0, 7:16 remaining in the first quarter.
Yeah, Cam Sealy wasted no time making correct reads on that read option and finds an avenue. And right now, where it's being won right now for Sandy Creek is is in the trenches, both offensively and defensively. That offensive line imposed their will on that one.
Same set for Sandy Creek on this 2-point try. 2 wings to the right side with Creek alone in the backfield. Make that Sealy alone in the backfield. Sealy flicks it in the back corner of the end zone. Biltoff hauls it in for the easy 2-point try. It is 16-0. Bridgeport trailing Sandy Creek, 7:16 remaining in the first quarter on 94-1. The
people at Westco to provide you sound agronomic advice, aerial application, bulk fuel, lubricants, propane, tires, and other essentials to keep your operation running smoothly.
Nobody knows trucking like the experts at Flatland Enterprises. Flatland Enterprises is a proud sponsor of Sandy Creek Athletics. The Fairfield Co-op is a small-town co-op that strives to bring the best customer service to you and is a proud supporter of Sandy Creek Athletics. Go Cougars!
JPL Crane Incorporated is proud of the hard work the Sandy Creek Cougars have put in this season. Good luck and go Cougars!
Remaining in the first quarter. Ben Berger, the German, set to boot it away. Does it with the right foot. That one will go through the end zone for a third touchback for Berger as he boots it through almost back to Germany. Touchback for Sandy Creek. Bridgeport gets it at their own 15. And what do you see from this Bridgeport defense, first of all?
From this defense right now, they're off the defensive line right now is just kind of getting moved around, manhandled. That offensive line for Sandy Creek is really dictating their will. And then from the backers, their eyes are getting caught with all the different motion and who do I have, and it's allowing these giant running lanes.
Now the Bridgeport offense back out there for a third time. Turnover on downs, punt is the way the first two drives have gone. Weibert empty set, trips to the bottom of the formation. Weibert fields it right at his chest, and it's a screen out to 9 in the near side, and he's chopped down. A lot of running for a 2-yard gain for Gage 9. That's his first touch in 2 weeks. He gets 2 on that screen to the outside.
Yeah, it was set up well. It was just a wide receiver screen off to the near side, and just really well done by Sandy Creek, able to get off the blocks. They had blockers out in space, but unfortunately did not lock up for 9 to be able to find some running room.
16-0 your score. First quarter inside of 7 minutes to play. Second down and 8 on the way for Bridgeport as they'll go 2 receivers to the top side with Bates and 9 in the slot. Landon Dean as the tight end on the bottom of the line as that ball will be snapped at the 17-yard line on the near hash. Weibert in the shotgun takes the snap. Jeffords is his option man. Weibert going to keep it himself, plunging forward to the 23-yard line on that 5-yard carry for the Bridgeport senior quarterback. Brings up 3rd and 2 from the 23-yard line.
Yeah, you can tell Sandy Creek watched this on film and how Bridgeport likes to run their zone read, trying to do the read on the outside. It's creating a cutback lane naturally for Weibert. That's the second time we haven't seen him get past the guard before he plants his foot in the ground to come back against the grain and gets a nice pickup on that one.
Another short yardage situation on 3rd down for Bridgeport. Hasn't gone their way so far. See if they can capitalize here. 3rd and 2, 1 receiver. Top side is Gage 9, 2 tight ends. On the bottom of the set, single back is Jeffords. Handoff will go to Weibert as he pulls it out of the gut of Jeffords, and Weibert going to have to battle. Might have got there. See if they move the sticks. He's right at that 25-yard line, and I think they're going to move the sticks, and they will. So a first down carry for Nick Weibert right at that 25-yard line. Hard-headed running from the senior.
Yeah, big pickup there by the senior, being able to try and will his way to that first down. And that's something that Bridgeport needed. You know, we talked about it early. Something they could not do that would make this game extremely tough was spotting this team points and needing something out of this drive with the way Sandy Creek's offense is running.
16-0 your score. Fresh set of downs for Bridgeport. Their first down of the contest at the 25-yard line is where they will snap it from out of an empty set with 3 receivers to the bottom of the formation working from left to right. Weibert fields it at his shins, throws it near side. Landon Dean, middle of the field, right at the Sandy Creek logo, tumbles forward to the 37-yard line. Bridgeport flips the field. That is a 18-yard reception for Landon Dean as he crosses midfield. Another fresh set of downs on consecutive plays for Bridgeport.
Yeah, going 3 wide to the near side. All 3 of them are running different levels of a post route, and he finds Landon Dean over the middle, his big tight end, wide open in a zone coverage defensively for Sandy Creek.
So Bridgeport into plus territory for the first time at the Sandy Creek 37-yard line. Top side of the hash is where they'll snap it. Bates and 9 to the bottom of the formation. Weibert, Jeffords to his left. Snap back Weibert, another 3-step drop, looking to air it out, middle of the field. 9 has it right at the 30-yard line. He's corralled, stays on his feet. 9 still tumbling forward, has a fresh set of downs after being thrown 5 yards backwards. gets up for another fresh set of downs. 3 consecutive plays, 3 consecutive first downs for Bridgeport, deeper into Sandy Creek territory.
That was an athletic play by Gage 9. I'm not going to lie, when he got spun around, I thought he was down from our vantage point, but clearly the ref had a better view, but never touched the ground, able to pop back up and almost pick up that first down. Looks like they marked him about 1.5 yards, maybe 2 yards short on stepping out of bounds.
And so they're going to make that a 9-yard catch and run for Gage 9. And he had to work for all 9 yards as he was thrown backwards. 2nd down and 1 from the 30, make it 28-yard line. Weibert will hand it off to Jeffords. James trying to tumble forward for a first. Going to be right at those sticks. See if they give him those 2 yards and move the sticks. And James Jeffords will come up and get a first down on that 2-yard touch for the Bulldogs, his first carry of the evening. And now it's first down from the 27-yard line, right between the hashes for Bridgeport on the Sandy Creek side of the field.
And this is the drive Bridgeport needed right now, finding some momentum, getting this ball moving in a positive direction, and really trying to get some points on the board to draw a little closer in this one.
Cody Bates on the top side, Zach Jeffords in the slot. Weibert flanked by James Jeffords on his left hip. Landon Dean, the tight end, at the bottom of the line. Weibert direct snap to Jeffords. Jeffords trying to stretch it out. Weibert being his lead blocker. Jeffords tripped up from behind, and he'll get a yard on that carry. Well, James Jeffords, as he makes something out of what looked like nothing initially. 2nd down and 9 on the way for Bridgeport.
Yeah, something that's clearly going to be very difficult for this Bridgeport Bulldog team. The defensive ends for Sandy Creek are very sound in their run fits, and they are not ashamed to just stretch that ball out to let their backers come up and play behind them. It's been really tough running when Bridgeport tries to get to the edges so far.
Jackson Gertis and Wes Biltoff, a pair of junior defensive ends, doing a great job early on for the Cougars. Gage 9, single receiver, top side of the set. Everyone else bunched at the line for Weibert, the quarterback. Nick surveys, takes the snap, 3-step drop, hits the back of his drop, has to step up in the pocket. He's brought down from behind. Ball is out, and looks like Sandy Creek's going to be right on top of that one. 3 defenders there. See who's on top of it. White hat going to signal that Weibert was able to get back on top of it as he fought for it. It was a scary situation for Bridgeport with something going in the right direction. They get it back, but now they're 8 yards behind the sticks on 3rd down.
Yeah, that was just very well defended defensively by Sandy Creek. Weibert wanted to put his foot in the ground and zip that ball to Landon Dean, but he was covered up and had to double clutch it, and that's what caused that time for him to be able to, the pass rush to get there. And very fortunate to get back on that football.
Credit those Sandy Creek defensive backs. Coverage sack for Sandy Creek. Almost went backwards for Bridgeport. Now Bridgeport behind the sticks, 34-yard line. They have to get up to the 17-yard line to guarantee a first down. Weibert, defenders crashing down on him. Weibert sacked back at the 35-yard line as Bridgeport goes backwards on 2 consecutive plays. 2 consecutive sacks for Sandy Creek, and Bridgeport goes from plus territory to the 35 and punting it away from the far hash.
Yeah, just a miscommunication there by the offensive line. Landon Dean evacuated on his route, but the guard never kicked out. I wonder if he saw that looked like that linebacker might be coming, and there was just no one to pick up that defensive end on the near side.
So Henry Blanco to boot it away for a 2nd time this evening on Bridgeport's 3rd drive of the night. Sealy back, make that Watts back with his heels at the 10-yard line. Blanco right foot into it. It's a high turnover punt as Blanco got all that he could out of it. He's going to take a Bridgeport hop towards the end zone and skirt out of bounds at the 6-yard line. As Blanco does his job, that ball will be spotted right at the 6. And for the first time tonight, Sandy Creek will start with the ball within the 10-yard line.
Yeah, a long field for Sandy Creek to go. And, very promising drive there for Bridgeport. Had a few mistakes there at the end of that one. Tough break, not able to finish that one. But now, if you're Bridgeport, they've been in this situation a couple times where they're down a few scores and they need their defense to come up with a stop. This is one of those moments yet again.
Last week, down 12-0 to Wausau Osmond to begin the contest. Trailed 20-0 to Hemmingford back in week number 7. No familiar territory for Bridgeport, but they got to battle their way back. Challenge, needless to say, a little tougher here. Sealy drops back, looking downfield. He'll zip it to the 15-yard line. It's in and out of the hands. That was Logan Tompke, the intended target, who dropped it, and it falls incomplete. 2nd down and 10 on the way for Sandy Creek.
Yeah, Bridgeport right now not being willing to go to a man sitting back in a zone. He was able to zip that ball in there, hit him in the hands, just dropped it on that one.
So 2nd and 10 from the 6-yard line is where Sandy Creek has it. 2:07 remaining in the first quarter, awaiting their play as they huddle back at the goal line. 3-man front for Bridgeport, 2 backers set. Weibert dropped back into a safety spot. 2 receivers top side. Sandy Creek single back in the backfield is Caden Schmidt on the right hip of Cam Sealy. Sealy fields it at the hip, has a quarterback power all the way to the left side. He's brought down at the 11-yard line around the ankles. That was Cody Bates coming up and making that tackle after the 5-yard carry by the quarterback Cam Sealy brings up 3rd and 5.
Yeah, really good job there by Cody Bates, able to shed a blocker. That guard tried to get up to the second level. He was able to get off and be able to make that tackle and stop him for a pickup of only 5.
1:47 and ticking in the first quarter remaining. Sandy Creek with a 16-0 lead over Bridgeport. Watts to the top side, your single receiver. Your tight end is Biltoff. And on the backside, Tomke, a tight end as well. Single back in the backfield, that's Caden Schmidt, right side of Cam Sealy. Sealy shotgun snap, pulls it out of the gut of Schmidt, and he's going to be tripped up. Is Sealy running to the right, shy of the first down by about 1.5 yards to bring up 4th down from the 14-yard line for Sandy Creek, their first 4th down look this evening.
Yeah, and Bridgeport coming out on this drive. Backers doing a much better job, not getting their eyes in the backfield, not getting caught up in the wash, being able to get off blocks and stop them for a few short gains here.
Sandy Creek initially looking like they're going to go for this, see if they'll just try to draw Bridgeport off sides or if they actually have something drawn up. Entering into the play, taking the place of Alex Watts was Wyatt Hemberger. He's lined up in the slot on the top side. Tomke split out wide. Schmidt in the backfield, left side of Sealy. Now Hemberger in motion, gets across the field from right to left. Looks like Sandy Creek just trying to draw him off sides. That is the case as head coach Andrew Kuda calls a timeout. Bridgeport defense, a nice little response there on that drive after being kind of having the Sandy Creek having their way with Bridgeport the first couple of drives.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big-time response there for the Bridgeport Bulldogs, able to potentially force a punt on this drive. It would go a long way to trying to claw back into this football game, and that's what we've seen. It's those first 2 drives of a football game. I'm not sure what it is about that for this team, but right now, defense coming up big and hopefully able to get themselves off the field in favor of their offense.
Scoring update for you from Crofton. Hemingford trailing Crofton as of 20 minutes ago at the half, 42-0 up in Crofton. So it looks like the Hemingford Bobcats got to do some battling in the second half if they want to advance to the semifinals. We talked about it a lot. If Hemingford and Bridgeport ended up getting to the point where they're playing for a semifinal state championship, just drive up to Shatter and play state championship down the road. So
it's much more fun in Lincoln. Much more fun in Lincoln.
A lot more fun. I'd rather be in Lincoln as well. Well, we said Bridgeport got something done defensively, but Sandy Creek out there once again. See if they'll boot this one away. Sealy is their punter, so it is the same look no matter what. See if Sealy just tries to draw him offside initially. Looks like what Sealy is going to do is he relaxes now. Still parked 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage, back at the 10. Sealy will snap it back. Sealy, quarterback power all the way, and he has enough for a first down as he squirms up to the 20-yard line on that 4-yard carry to get a first down for Sandy Creek, and pretty much anticipated the way they've been running the ball early on tonight.
Yeah, they've been able to run the ball and kind of dictate at will, and they came up with a heavy set. They had 2 bigger backs in on the far side, it just right up to the nose there, so you knew if they were going to go for it, that's where they were running, and unfortunately able to really just drive Bridgeport off the ball.
So Cam Sealy, first down pickup on 4th down, sets up 1st and 10 from the Sandy Creek 20-yard line on the far hash. Hemberger split out wide, Tomke in the slot, Schmidt in the backfield right side of Cam Sealy. Sealy, shotgun snap, fields it at his chest. Play fake, looking downfield, Sealy to his left, airs it out downfield, wide open down the seam is Schmidt, and Schmidt has to go in between his hands, kind of slowed up at midfield. If he kept running, that was a breadbasket catch, and he's probably scampering to the end zone.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Wybert was trying to peel off his route, trying to get back to that one, but they had Cody Bates beat on that one. It was just the back out of the flat. He just ran a wheel route, but instead of going up the sideline, came up the middle. That's a very popular play, believe it or not, in the 8-man game, because you just don't see the back going up the middle of the field unless they're doing a simple little button hook. And very fortunate for Bridgeport, that one was dropped.
So 2nd down and 10 for Sandy Creek after the incompletion down the seam. Sealy single back. They'll work out of the pistol now. Clark is the back. Snap back, Sealy following Clark. Alston Clark leading the way. Sealy cuts it back to the middle of the field. Cody Bates has him first around the ankles before Cole Leadhead cleans it up after a 6-yard carry for Cam Sealy up to the 27-yard line.
Yeah, it's just a quarterback sweep, getting around the edge and trying to create in space, and that'll be the end of our first quarter.
So we enter the second quarter. Bridgeport trailing 16-0 to Sandy Creek here in the D1 quarterfinals. We're back after this on 94.1 The Brand.
Find your adventure at Western Nebraska Community College.
Nobody knows trucking like the experts at Flatland Enterprises. Flatland Enterprises is a proud sponsor of Sandy Creek Athletics. The Fairfield Co-op is a small-town co-op that strives to bring the best customer service to you and is a proud supporter of Sandy Creek Athletics. Go Cougars!
JPL Crane Incorporated is proud of the hard work the Sandy Creek Cougars have put in this season. Good luck and go Cougars!
This drive continues for Sandy Creek in the second quarter. 3rd and 3 on the way. Cam Seeley, quarterback power all the way, stretching it to the far side of the field. Seeley into open space across midfield, across the 35, 30, down the sideline. 25 stepped out of bounds. Back at the 36, making the 31-yard line did Seeley. Would have been a big gain. Still a big gain, but could have been a lot bigger. Fresh set of downs into Bridgeport territory for Sandy Creek to begin the second quarter.
Yeah, great patience by the quarterback there, but really, really good blocking by Sandy Creek. They brought the backside guard, and the way he was able to kick out really set that alley, and it was off to the races from that point.
So fresh set of downs for Sandy Creek into Bridgeport territory, which has been familiar territory tonight so far for these Cougars. They'll work with a single back set, 2 tight ends to the right side, one of them a wing. And built off top side of the set, that is Tomke. Snap back, Seeley looking downfield, play fake, pulls it out of the gut of Schmidt, flinging it downfield, wide open built off at the 17-yard line. Built off lowers the shoulder, sends Levick to the ground, and up to the 10-yard line goes built off. Big catch for built off there, takes it from the 31 up to the 10, a 21-yard reception for built off to put it near a first and goal situation, and it will be a first and goal situation.
Yeah, just a very good read, and he had the time to be able to find it. It was his tight end going. It was a deep 10 and over route, and that play takes a long time to develop, and he had the time to be able to find him on the other side of the field.
Watts lines up near the numbers on the bottom of the formation, top side of the set. Lining up on the line is Tomke with built off the opposite tight end on the right side. Clark the back in the backfield to the right side of Seeley, about a yard behind him. Snap back, Seeley. Seeley into the flats, into the hands. That's Schmidt, actually. As Schmidt lowers the shoulder, chopped down at the 5-yard line on that 5-yard swing pass to the near side. Jeffords brings him down to bring up second and goal from the 5-yard line.
Yeah, it's just a simple little play. Get your playmaker in space. That swing pass to the back, really hard to defend, and trying to get players to the point of attack. Thankful for Bridgeport able to stop him for a pickup of only 4.
So second and goal from the 5.5-yard line is where Sandy Creek has it, going with that 2-point look with the 2 wings to the right side. Snap back, Seeley. They'll flip it to the inside. Having it on the quick toss is Schmidt. Schmidt lowers the shoulder. Might have just got back. Give him a yard on that carry, does Schmidt, on that touch pass, actually. That went forward on the wing toss.
Yeah, it's a pop pass is what that is, and it goes down in the stat book as a passing play, even though it's really just an extension of the run. Really, that one had a chance to get into the end zone had Landon Dean not been able to shed his blocker and really slow him up and minimize that gain.
So Seeley alone in the backfield, going with that same look, 2 wings to the right side that they like to do the pop pass out of. It's in my vocabulary. I just forgot it for a little bit. Snap back, Seeley rolling right, looking to the end zone. He's going to tuck it and run himself. He has the edge, dives from the pylon, and Seeley is in for his 3rd rushing touchdown of the evening, this time from 5 yards out to give Sandy Creek the 22-0 lead over Bridgeport. 10:29 remaining in the half.
Yeah, and it looked like he was looking to set up for a pass on that one, but to be honest with you, the way that was designed, that was QB run to the corner all the way. They had wide receivers on the near side evacuate against the grain to pull those backers out of the formation, and it created a running lane for him to get to the corner.
So, 2-point try once again, that all familiar set with 2 wings to the right side behind the tight end Tomke. Seeley taking his time, adjusts the knee pads, looking all cool, calm, and collected back there. That's one of the things his head coach said about him is he's confident and he's not going to get too worked up back there. The sophomore quarterback, Seeley rolling to his right, looking back corner, and throwing it across the grain to Schmidt. That pass bounces into Schmidt's chest, incomplete. We're back after this. Sandy Creek leading at 22-0 after the failed 2-point try on 94-1 The Brain.
At Lowe's, this Veterans Day and every day,
Nobody knows trucking like the experts at Flatland Enterprises. Flatland Enterprises is a proud sponsor of Sandy Creek Athletics. The Fairfield Co-op is a small-town co-op that strives to bring the best customer service to you and is a proud supporter of Sandy Creek Athletics. Go Cougars!
JPL Crane Incorporated is proud of the hard work the Sandy Creek Cougars have put in this season. Good luck and go Cougars!
Nobody knows trucking like the experts at Flatland Enterprises. Flatland Enterprises is a proud sponsor of Sandy Creek Athletics. The Fairfield Co-op is a small-town co-op that strives to bring the best customer service to you and is a proud supporter of Sandy Creek Athletics. Go Cougars!
Not surprisingly, Berger's kickoff goes into the end zone. Fourth consecutive touchback, fourth consecutive drive starting at the 15-yard line for Bridgeport. Let's talk about what Sandy Creek does offensively that's giving Bridgeport fits.
Yeah, one of the biggest things right now that they're doing is they'll either spread them out or they go into that two-back-up formation, and they'll send them out on passing routes. What they are, they're decoys. They're going across the formation to draw the defenders out of there, and then they're trying to get that hook to set the edge, and really what that's doing is creating an alley to be able to pick up 6 yards or more on any given time.
So Bridgeport will elect to have it right between, well, they thought they could elect to have it on the far hash. Instead, the official moves it back between the hashes at the 15-yard line, and that's where Bridgeport once again begins their fourth consecutive drive right at that 15-yard line after the touchback. Now working from right to left, Bridgeport looking for new fortunes here in a new quarter. Sandy Creek started with their opening score in the second quarter. See if Bridgeport can match that. Looking for an answer. Handoff, James Jeffers trying to run it right between guard and center to the right side. Sandy Creek flowing to the ball, and a whole lot of Cougars are there to stop Jeffers after a 2-yard carry to the right side. 2nd and 8 on the way for Bridgeport.
Yeah, and that's something that's been really tough in this football game for Bridgeport, trying to run, whether it's outside or inside. That defensive front for Sandy Creek, very sound in their run fits and able to get separation. When you talk defensive lineman, one of the things that you want to be able to do is pop those arms, get the offensive lineman off of you, so that way you can read the play and redirect.
So 2nd down and 8 now for Bridgeport. 2 receivers at the bottom of the field. It's Cody Bates and Gage 9 in the slot. Jeffords still the single back on the right hip of Nick Weiber. Landon Dean, your tight end on the top side. Snap back, Weiber hits the bottom of his drop, airs it down near sideline. Gage 9 has to go off of his extended left hand at the 29-yard line and out of bounds to bring up 3rd and 8 for Bridgeport.
Yeah, Gage 9 had a step, but that's a tough throw for any quarterback at any level. You're throwing an out route to the far side of the field, trying to get that ball out there with touch, and just a little bit too far. We've seen Gage 9 make some pretty impressive catches, but that one would have been extremely tough.
None better than the first game we did together, single hand snag in the back corner of the end zone for the touchdown on homecoming.
That was a fun time. It's hard to believe. That was almost like, 2 months ago now?
Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks ago, man.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a fun season so
far. Fun ride, and here we are in the quarterfinals. Happy to have you along on 94.1. The Brand Sandy Creek leads at 22-0 over Bridgeport inside of 10 minutes to go in the first half. Snap back, Weibert, 3-step drop, airs it out near sideline, and Dean has it. Dean bounces off a defender at the 25 before finally taking a knee at the 29-yard line, and Landon gave himself up. He's banged up on the near sideline, and we'll step aside. Landon Dean down on the field after that catch with 9:35 remaining in the first half.
At Lowe's, this Veterans Day and every day, verified military.
Nobody knows trucking like the experts at Flatland Enterprises. Flatland Enterprises is a proud sponsor of Sandy Creek Athletics. The Fairfield Co-op is a small-town co-op that strives to bring the best customer service to you and is a proud supporter of Sandy Creek Athletics. Go Cougars!
JPL Crane Incorporated is proud of the hard work the Sandy Creek Cougars have put in this season. Good luck and go Cougars!
got to bring your own energy after an injury timeout like that, especially.
Yeah, absolutely. Got to bring your own energy. And, Bridgeport has a little bit of momentum, able to get that first down of this drive and trying to find their first points of the ball game.
So Riker Norman will step in as that opposite tight end. So Cody Bates split out wide to the top side, 9 in the slot. Jeffords in the backfield. Weibert quick pass out. That's actually Zach Jeffords in the slot. Jeffords makes a one defender miss, but just touched enough to fall forward, shy of the first down. He's brought down. Second down, make it 3rd down and 3 on the way for Bridgeport after that pitch and catch from Weibert to Jeffords.
Yeah, very well designed play, and that's one of those plays, if you don't get that ball out quickly, it actually almost turns into offensive pass interference because it's such a quick hitter. You've got one defender or one receiver going out there looking to make a block after the pass. Very well executed by Bridgeport, pickup of 8 on the play.
So after the Zach Jeffords catch, that'll be a second down situation, not a 3rd down situation. So now Cody Bates in motion from left to right. He'll set up on the top side of the formation. Cody Bates, 2nd down and 2 on the way for Bridgeport. Snap back, Weibert, quarterback power all the way. Weibert trying to shimmy his way up to a 1st down. He's going to be right at that stick. See where they give this mark at. He'll be right there, right at that 38.5-yard line. See if they move those sticks or make it 3rd and inches for Bridgeport. And it looks like we're going to settle for 3rd and inches, and that is the case.
Man, that is so close. Whitehat's coming in. Yeah, they're going to call for a measurement on this one.
So, a timeout for a measurement on the field. We could, from here, looks like the spot they gave him a couple inches short.
Yeah, it's awful close, man. And, yeah, it's just one of those judgment calls as he's coming through. And, yeah, they do have it.
And that's why you measure and don't listen to the guy standing
exactly.
Like
we're too far away. We definitely don't know what we're talking about.
So fresh to the downs for Bridgeport after the 1-yard carry by Nick Weibert. We want to take this time to thank our sponsors for this broadcast. West Coast, Travis Hawk Shelter Insurance, Viera Wireless, Platte Valley Bank, Car, Trumbull, Sunny Superfoods, AA Feeds, WNCC 9 Pharmacy, Western Nebraska Regional Airport, Allo, and Independent Plumbing and Heating. Thank you to all of our fantastic sponsors helping make this broadcast possible and all season long for your support. First set of downs for Bridgeport right at midfield at the 39-yard line. 2 receivers top side. And well off the line is Jeffords. Snap back, Weibert. Option to the left side. Weibert spins away from one tackler as he crosses midfield up to the 37-yard line. 5-yard carry for Nick Weibert to bring up 2nd and 5.
Yeah, great read there by Weibert, finding that alley up the middle as they were trying to do that stretch play out to the outside. Just simple little option, and puts his foot in the ground, picks up about 5 on 1st down.
22-0 is your score in the second quarter inside of 8 minutes to play in the half. Bridgeport trailing by that 22-0 mark to Sandy Creek, into Sandy Creek territory for the first time on this drive now. 2nd and 5 on the way from the 37-yard line between the hashes is where Bridgeport has it. Cody Bates to the top side alongside Zach Jeffords. In the backfield, James Jeffords on the right side of Nick Weibert. Riker Norman, your tight end, to the backside. Weibert, Reed flicks it down the far sideline looking for Cody Bates. Bates stretches out, can't haul it in at the 5-yard line. That pass falls incomplete, intended for Cody Bates down the far sideline. That brings up 3rd and 5 for Bridgeport on the Sandy Creek side of the field.
Yeah, I like to see that for Bridgeport there, taking a shot to try and take the top off the defense. Cody Bates had a little bit of a step out there on the far side and just put a little bit too much mustard on that one as it sailed over the top.
So the clock stops, 7:17 remaining in the second quarter. 3rd and 6 to go officially for Bridgeport at the Bridgeport 37-yard line between the hashes. They have it. Zach Jeffords now split out wide as the far side receiver while 9 goes to the slot. Riker Norman still the tight end on the line on the backside. Weibert shotgun set. James Jeffords on his left hip. Snap back. Weibert takes it on the option himself. Speed option right up the middle. That's enough for a 1st down on that 6-yard carry for Nick Weibert. Fresh set of downs up to the Sandy Creek 31 for Bridgeport.
Yeah, Bridgeport finding something here in this running game, trying to run that option, but where Weibert's finding it is that alley immediately right up the gut. As soon as that motion tries to get to the outside, it opens up an alley, and he's taking it for chunks of 5.
All we've heard about is decision-making for Nick Weibert, and it's been happening quickly in this contest on that speed option. Weibert shotgun set, 2 receivers top side, still Jeffords and 9 with James Jeffords in the backfield. Single back set. Weibert takes it quickly out to 9 in the flats. 9 trying to turn it upfield. He'll get 5 yards on that pitch and catch before going out of bounds at the 27-yard line. So a 4-yard catch for Gage 9 to bring up 2nd and 6.
Yeah, quick out route. We saw that earlier in this football game, and they were able to pick up 8 on that one. The shorter gain on this one, but very well executed, hitting your man in space to pick up a nice chunk on first down.
22-0 your score. 2nd and 6 on the way for Bridgeport. 6:49 remaining in the half. Looking for their first score of the contest, trailing Sandy Creek in this quarterfinal matchup. Trips bottom of the set. Zach Jeffords, Cody Bates engage 9. Cody Bates splits out to the top side of the set. Empty backfield for Nick Wybert. 2nd and 6 on the way, and a timeout for Bridgeport, as may have been an illegal formation situation the way things were developing, or at least nobody knew where they were.
Yeah, I think a little bit of confusion on what play they're running, and that's one of the effects when Landon Dean's off the field. He would have been one of those spread out on that play.
2nd and 6, Bridgeport into Sandy Creek territory on this drive. This is their 5th drive, make it 4th drive of the night. It's been turnover on downs, punt. What would you like to see for this drive to end in points?
Yeah, I mean, Bridgeport almost has to have this drive end in points. We're ticking under 6:50 to go in this second quarter, heading into halftime. With Bridgeport with a goose egg on there, if you want a chance to claw back in this football game, right now it feels almost like it's do or die.
Also, Sandy Creek, with all likelihood, even with the amount of time on the clock, will get a chance before the half. Your defense has to step up because they'll receive to begin the second half as well.
Yeah, and you know, that's exactly right. You know, to be able to claw back into this one, offensively you got to get points on the board, but defensively you got to find a stop. Sandy Creek has really been able to dictate with their quarterback run game, and he's been very decisive when he decides to keep the ball.
Timeout over. 2nd and 6 on the way for Bridgeport. They get things settled on the bottom of the formation. It's Cody Bates engage 9. Now 9 motions from left to right to the top side of the formation. Single back is Jeffords for Nick Wybert out of the shotgun. Wybert fields it at his hip, pulls it out of the gut of Jeffords. Pressure in his face. Wybert just trying to fling it downfield. It'll come up short of the intended target at the 20-yard line, while Gage 9 was standing at the 15. Incomplete for Bridgeport. 3rd and 6 on the way.
Yeah, and after he pulled that ball, Wybert just didn't quite look comfortable. He saw the rush coming, didn't quite know what to do with that one, and just kind of evacuated the ball in the direction of one of his receivers.
22-0 your score. 6:42 remaining in the half. Bridgeport driving currently in Sandy Creek territory at the 27-yard line, looking for their first points of this fall evening. Wybert empty backfield. Now a lot of moving around as 3 receivers come to the near side for the trip set, and Jeffords, Bates, and 9, while Riker Norman flip side heads to the top side of the line to Wybert's right in the empty backfield. Wybert low snap, fields it, tries to step up in the pocket. He'll do just that. Evades tacklers. Now Wybert steps up, breaks away from one tackler, lowers the shoulder, and Wybert tumbles forward to the 23-yard line. That'll bring up 4th down for Bridgeport in the position on this field, though, where you're going for this even when you're 3 yards shy of the first down.
Yeah, absolutely a position you're going for. And Wybert, man, he read that really, really well. It was very well defended downfield. Thought he had a lane to try and pick up that first down, but Sandy Creek, got to give them credit. They close fast and close in a hurry.
So 4th and 2. Good to see Henry Blanco back out there. First time we've seen him in a while after lowering the boom on a hit a couple of or quarter ago on the far sideline. Good to see him back out there as the back in this set on the left side of Nick Wybert. Cody Bates, your wing. Blanco now steps up to the line. Blanco see if they go with a hard count. Same set they tried back in the first quarter on their first drive, and they'll do just that. Now a timeout on the field. We can take one with them. Bridgeport trails at 22-0 to Sandy Creek here on 94-1 The Brain.
Have you ever had a moment where you think, man, someone should really do something about it?
Nobody knows trucking like the experts at Flatland Enterprises. Flatland Enterprises is a proud sponsor of Sandy Creek Athletics. The Fairfield Co-op is a small-town co-op that strives to bring the best customer service to you and is a proud supporter of Sandy Creek Athletics. Go Cougars!
JPL Crane Incorporated is proud of the hard work the Sandy Creek Cougars have put in this season. Good luck and go Cougars!
Wide open, Cody Bates overthrows his target coming across the middle. It'll be a turnover on downs for Bridgeport as Cody Bates, the play just took a step too long to develop, and Wybert threw it ahead of his receiver.
Yeah, unfortunately, Wybert just unable to see him on that one. Cody Bates had a great move to the inside on that slant route, and he would have been able to walk into the end zone had they been able to connect. tough break there for the Bridgeport Bulldogs.
So instead, Sandy Creek takes over at their own 23-yard line, and with a chance to score before the half. And then, of course, get the kickoff to receive to begin the second half. Tomke and Hemberger, your receivers, bottom of the set. Schmidt motions out of the backfield to the left side of the formation. 3-step drop, Sealy flings it out downfield, looking for Biltoff. Biltoff pass falls incomplete at the 32-yard line. 2nd and 10 on the way for Sandy Creek.
Yeah, very well defended there by Bridgeport. Sitting back in that zone coverage again. We've seen them in that all night, as they know that Sandy Creek loves to toss the football around, and just very well read by the backers on that one, able to close the gap quickly.
22-0 is your score. Sandy Creek leading it over the Bridgeport Bulldogs. 5:35 remaining in the first half of action. Bridgeport trying to hold Sandy Creek to no points before the half. Sealy alone in the backfield, 3 receivers, bottom of the formation. It'll be Clark, Tomke, and Watts. Sealy 5 yards back, fields it, fakes it to the out on the trip side, pulls it down and tumbles forward to the 29-yard line. Make it a 6-yard carry for Cam Sealy to bring up 3rd and 4 for Sandy Creek.
That was a saving tackle there by Wybert. Had he not picked him up, it would have been a much larger pickup there for Sandy Creek, able to collapse on him from his linebacker position.
Really interesting here. I don't know if you can see it. I'm sure you can on the near sideline. New this year or last year, you can start watching film on the sidelines, and they got a whole TV setup down here. It's pretty interesting to see.
I did notice that. I don't know if we've seen that at any high school game that we've been to, but very interesting. It's a way to stay ahead in this football game.
So now 3rd and 4 on the way for Sandy Creek. Sealy single back on his right side is Schmidt, and he's going to tumble forward. Going to be shy of a first down by about a yard. And Sandy Creek, as much as we know, has been keen to go for it on 4th down, especially in the short yardage situation.
Yeah, not afraid to, no matter where they are in the field, especially with the way they've been able to run the football, that quarterback power, quarterback sweep. He's been very elusive and tough to break down for Bridgeport. And exciting to see Landon Dean making his entrance back into this football game. And great to see him back out there.
Not just back into this football game, at nose tackle as well, as we've seen them go to this in situations where they need to stop the run. So Landon Dean back in there at that nose tackle spot. Wings to the right side are twinned up behind the tight end. And built off. Sealy empty backfield. 4th and 1. Sealy takes it, running quarterback power all the way to the right side. Launches forward. Flag comes flying in from the backside. And from when that flag came coming in, there's going to be a hold on the shoulder as you see the white hat signal to the near side. And Sandy Creek's going to be trotting 10 yards back.
Yeah, going to march this one 10 yards back on Sandy Creek. Crazy enough, if you can believe this, we're 4 minutes to go in the second quarter. First penalty of the football game. This has been an extremely clean game on both sides.
I'm about to ruin your day.
Oh, are you?
Landon Dean jumps off sides first.
Oh, you're
game.
right.
Goodness.
You're right. Golly. You know, okay, second.
I didn't want to do it, but I feel like you did it to me a couple of weeks ago.
You're probably right, I did. You're probably right. You know, fair is fair.
Nonetheless, Cam Sealy will boot it away, and it's going to be Zach Jeffords back to return this punt for Bridgeport. Sealy, the quarterback, 4th and 10 on the way. Sealy snap back. Will put the right foot into it, steps into it. It's away. It's a low top spinner that's going to squirt into the hands of Zach Jeffers, who steps out of bounds right at the 20-yard line. So Bridgeport's best field position will be the 20-yard line to begin this drive, and another chance for them to score before the half.
Yeah, another chance for them to score before the half, but very key for them right now. I know it comes by way of penalty, but however you get it, your first defensive stop if you're the Bridgeport Bulldogs.
So Bridgeport out there, 5th drive of the night with 3:49 remaining in the first half of action. Looking for an answer here, trailing 22-0 to the Cougars of Sandy Creek. Nick Wybert trots into his huddle to lead his men on offense. Landon Dean out there offensively as well. Good to see. He'll take the tight end spot on the near side. Cody Bates will be your wing on the right. Gauge 9, your single receiver to the top side for the single back in Henry Blanco. He's on the left hip of Nick Wybert. Wybert, 3-step drop, airing it out downfield, looking for Gauge 9. Can't get separation. That pass ball is incomplete at the opposite 25-yard line. Couldn't get away from the defense of Cam Sealy on the far side. 2nd and 10 on the way for Bridgeport.
Yeah, and Gauge 9 was really booking it down there. Kind of saw the back judge on that one reaching back, almost like he thought about throwing a penalty flag, because there was definitely some hand fighting go down the sideline, but I think they ruled that one uncatchable because it was just too far down there.
So 2nd and 10 for Bridgeport on the way. Pass falls incomplete. Wybert intended for 9 down the far sideline. 9 still the single receiver, top side of the formation. The ball is being spotted on the near hash at the 20-yard line, down to 3:42 remaining in this first half. Bates now motions from left to right from one wing to the other. Weibert cool, calm, and collected with Blanco on his left hip. Pulls it out of Blanco's gut. Check that, Blanco has it. He gets back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on that carry. 3rd and 10 on the way. Give him a yard on that carry, actually, for Blanco as he brings it across the 20.
Yeah, and again, it's been Sandy Creek's defensive line able to dictate what they want to do on any given point, especially in the running game, making it really tough on Bridgeport.
So clock ticking. Down to 3:20 remaining in the first half. 22-0 is your score. Bridgeport trailing Sandy Creek. 3rd and 10 on the way. As we were generous, giving Henry Blanco a yard on that carry. But we don't give half yards in this booth. So 9 to the far side will be your single receiver. Blanco on the left hip, and Nick Weibert still your single back. Wing is Cody Bates. Landon Dean, your tight end near side. Snap back Weibert. Weibert, clean pocket. Now has to work to his left. Weibert steps back, now goes back to the middle of the field. Weibert finally going to be brought down behind the line of scrimmage at the 17-yard line. So a loss of 3 on that sack for Bridgeport, and 4th down on the way for Bridgeport, and a timeout by Sandy Creek to stop the clock with 2:45 remaining in the first half.
Yeah, and that was really all Weibert could do. Very well defended in the secondary by Sandy Creek, and just running for his life back there, and unfortunate loss of 2 on a play.
So timeout by Sandy Creek. It'll be their first of the half. Second of the half, as they will be awaiting a Bridgeport punt from the Bridgeport 18-yard line.
Yeah, right now if you're Bridgeport, you're back in a familiar position. You're punting this ball back to Sandy Creek. 2:45 left to go in this first half. Got to find a way to not let them into the end zone and heading into halftime.
So Bridgeport will punt it away with 2:45 remaining out of this Sandy Creek timeout. At least that's the anticipated result at the end of this timeout. Sandy Creek trots back out onto the field. Alex Watts will be your returner on this punt from Henry Blanco. So 4th and 12, Bridgeport. Henry Blanco will put his heels back at the 8, make it 7-yard line to boot this one away. Watts will plant his heels back at the 23 for Sandy Creek on the left side of the field as Blanco boots it from the right. And there's going to be a flag coming flying in. There's going to be a false start on Bridgeport to make this a longer punt for Henry Blanco.
Yeah, unfortunately, I just don't think everyone was set there. Henry didn't wait long enough as his linemen were getting down into their stances and pushing back 5 yards.
So now it's going to be 4th and 17. Blanco will now set his heels up at the 3-yard line as the ball will be snapped from, like I said, the 13-yard line. 2:43 remaining in the first half. 22-0 Sandy Creek over Bridgeport. 5-hour road trip for the Bulldogs. Blanco heels back at the 2-yard line, fields a high snap, puts the right foot into it, kicks the back of the ball. It's a top spin ball that's going to check up at the 35 and roll across midfield to the 38-yard line of Sandy Creek. So Sandy Creek takes over with great field position with 2:34 remaining in the half.
Yeah, great starting field position again here for Sandy Creek. They've kind of lived around that middle of the field on virtually all possessions here in this football game so far.
So Bridgeport's defense back out there looking for a second consecutive stop before the half, and they'll have to do it again out of the half to make sure the Sandy Creek lead doesn't balloon any further. Tomke, bottom of the set, alongside Hemberger in the slot. Backside of the set, Biltoff is your tight end on the line. In the backfield is going to be Schmidt on the left side of Cam Seeley. Seeley heels back at the 34. In motion, Hemberger gets it on the pop pass. Hemberger in motion, brings it up the field and across the 40 to the 37-yard line. 4-yard carry for Hemberger on that pop pass they love so much, the buzzword for tonight.
Yeah, definitely the buzzword for tonight, and you're right. We've seen them run it on multiple occasions, whether it's on the inside, trying to get in between the guards, or just trying to that jet sweep motion going to the outside as they pick up another solid gain of 3 on that one.
So 2nd and 7 from the 38-yard line. They just flipped the field on that carry. Tomke split out wide. Hemberger in the slot once again with Biltoff on the back side of the line. Field side is the near side. That's more field to work with as they snap it from the far hash. Shotgun set. Seeley, quarterback draw, pulls it all the way. That's a 9, make it 10-yard carry. Just give it 8 yards for Cam Seeley on that carry. That gives Sandy Creek a fresh set of downs up to the 28-yard line of Bridgeport.
Yeah, and he's elusive and he's tough to bring down. Saw Cody Bates come flying up from his linebacker position. Thought he might have had a shot at him and just able to shred him as he picks up 9 on that one.
Fresh set of downs for Sandy Creek, making the 29-yard line where this ball will be spotted with 1:35 and ticking remaining after the chains are set. The clock will continue to run, 1:30 on the clock. 22-0 Sandy Creek trying to add on to their lead here before the half. Seeley in the shotgun once again. Clark make that Schmidt on his left hip. Wing right side is built off. Sealy pulls that out of the gut of Schmidt. Landon Dean comes flying in for his 13th sack of the season. Landon Dean throws Sealy down back at the 39-yard line.
Yeah, big play there by Landon Dean, and I tell you what, he came out here, and I think he's a little frustrated. He had to go out of the game a little bit on that one. Just super aggressive from his defensive end position. Big swim move, gets into the backfield for a big sack.
13th sack of the season for the junior Landon Dean, officially marked back at the 37-yard line. 8 yards behind the 6 is Sandy Creek. Second down and 18 on the way. Line to gain is the 19. Snap back, Sealy out of an empty backfield. Pressure in his face. It's a screen. Throws it. Caught by Scott. He's up to the far sideline. Scott across the 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Sandy Creek, as Alston Clark flagged down back at the 14, however. Alston Clark had to haul that in on a couple of deflections to himself. It's all going to go for naught, it appears, though, as there's a flag down the field.
Yeah, I think they're going to get Sandy Creek for a block in the back, which is crazy because that was a posse leading the way. Bridgeport had nobody out there but one defender. And, a great time to call that if you're Sandy Creek. But it's going to wipe the points off the board, march this back 10 yards for a block in the back.
It's almost like the extra bobbles gave him more time to develop if you're Alston Clark. And you're frustrated if you're the senior making a play like that, but Sandy Creek shoots themselves in the foot. That ball will be spotted for second down and 9 from the 30, make it 28-yard line. So Sandy Creek still gets yardage off of it, but they don't get the touchdown. So second and 9 from the 28-yard line for Sandy Creek after the penalty from the spot of the foul. Snap back, Sealy. Quick drop. Time in the pocket, flings it downfield, right down the seam. Intercepted Logan Levick at the 5-yard line. Levick returns it to the 14, and Bridgeport with 23 seconds on the clock get a pick from number 23 to give him a fresh set of downs. Logan Levick, first interception of the season.
Great read there by Levick near the end zone. Saw the quarterback's eyes, able to break off his route coverage, come up, grab that football for a big turnover here for the Bulldogs.
Talked about you needed to stop before the half. Now you get 23 seconds. See if Bridgeport can execute something here from their own 19-yard line.
Yeah, 23 seconds to go left here in this first half. And would that not be a huge shot of momentum if you're able to put points on the board and going into the locker room?
Logan Levick returned just a couple of weeks ago. 7 total tackles on the year. Coming into this game, now his first interception of his senior season after missing most of the regular season. First and 10 from the 19-yard line, make it 14-yard line for Bridgeport, and a delay of game against Bridgeport.
Yeah, tough break there. Didn't realize the back judge had his arm up as he was counting down, and not the way you want to start this final drive here.
So 23 seconds remains on the clock. Bridgeport now behind the sticks from their own 9-yard line to begin this drive after the Logan Levick interception at the 4-yard line. Two receivers top side. It's Cody Bates, gauge 9 in the slot. Landon Dean on the backside. Now Henry Blanco motions to be the lone receiver on the bottom of the set. Weibert empty backfield. Fields the snap at his chest. Flings it downfield. Landon Dean has it. Dean trying to flip it to Nick to gauge 9. And it'll be a fumble backwards as Bridgeport tried to be cute. We saw it earlier in the season on the hook and ladder. And in this situation, it leads to a fumble and a turnover for Bridgeport after they got an interception.
Yeah, tough break there for Bridgeport. Had a play. Gauge 9 coming across the formation. Had the flip been a little bit better, he would have had an alley up the sideline with a lead blocker in Blanco.
So 18 seconds remain on the clock. Sandy Creek with another chance from the 12-yard line. And from the 12-yard line, Sandy Creek takes over with another chance before the half, getting it out of the half as well. Tomke, bottom of the set, Hemberger in the slot, and in the backfield, it's Schmidt. Sealy in motion now, Hemberger from right to left. Snap back, Sealy, eyeing towards the end zone. Near side, Tomke back corner, hauls it into the back pylon. 12-yard receiving touchdown for Tomke before the half. First passing touchdown of the evening for Cam Sealy, makes it 28-0 Sandy Creek. Disaster for Bridgeport.
Yeah, just a great designed route there. Corner route to the corner of the end zone, and unfortunately caught Bridgeport on that one with their eyes in the backfield, got behind him.
So Sandy Creek, 28-0 your score. Ben Berger, the German foreign exchange student, to come in for the extra point. Out of the hold of Alex Watts. Berger Snap back, spot down, kick on the way. It's going to be tipped. Does it get over? It doesn't. Extra point is no good for Sandy Creek. Nick Weibert comes flying in from the near side and gets his hand on that kick. It's 28-0 for Sandy Creek before the half. We'll keep it right here with 11 seconds remaining. Thoughts on that final drive?
You know, that's a huge momentum swing. You know, Bridgeport, a lot of excitement getting that pick there, and then just the unfortunate mishap trying to have that flash play, that trick play, and misconnection between Landon Dean and Gage 9 gives them the football back, and then just perfectly executed if you're Sandy Creek.
So Sandy Creek leads 28-0, 11 seconds remaining in the first half of action. We're happy to have you along on 94-1 The Brand. Quarterfinal action for the Bridgeport Bulldogs. Just won their first second-round game in school history last week over Wausau Osmond on their home field, trying to rally back to defeat Sandy Creek as we begin to turn our attention to the second half. Ben Berger just had his extra point blocked, will now boot it away. Perfect untouched backs this evening. The righty will boot it away. Berger will approach with the right foot. Puts the right foot into it. Caught it on a bit of a spinner as he caught the bottom of the tee. Fielding it on the near side will be James Jeffords. James trying to bring it back to the middle of the field, tumbling forward. Forward progress will be marked off, looks like at the 22-yard line. Best starting field position for Bridgeport this evening.
Yeah, 4 seconds left to go here in this first half. Really curious to see what the Bulldogs do. Do they just run a simple run play, get out of the half, or do they try and take one more shot to try and get points on the board before they go to the locker room?
First and 10 for Bridgeport from the 22. This will be the final play of the first half. 22-yard line, Bridgeport has it. Top side, they'll snap it from. 9, top side of the formation. Cody Bates, Landon Dean. Bates your wing, Dean your tight end on the bottom of the set. Single back in the backfield, right side of Weibert. It'll be a direct snap to Blanco. Blanco tumbles forward to the 26-yard line. That'll be your final play of the first half. We'll step aside. Bridgeport trailing at 28-0 to Sandy Creek here on 94-1 The Brand. We're back with your halftime show right after this.
Nobody knows trucking like the experts at Flatland Enterprises. Flatland Enterprises is a proud sponsor of Sandy Creek Athletics. The Fairfield Co-op is a small-town co-op that strives to bring the best customer service to you and is a proud supporter of Sandy Creek Athletics. Go Cougars!
JPL Crane Incorporated is proud of the hard work the Sandy Creek Cougars have put in this season. Good luck and go Cougars!
Nobody knows trucking like the experts at Flatland Enterprises. Flatland Enterprises is a proud sponsor of Sandy Creek Athletics. The Fairfield Co-op is a small-town co-op that strives to bring the best customer service to you and is a proud supporter of Sandy Creek Athletics. Go Cougars!
JPL Crane Incorporated is proud of the hard work the Sandy Creek Cougars have put in this season. Good luck and go Cougars!
Read option stuff. Really haven't seen him give the ball up, but what's been most impressive, there we go, there's the word, is how decisive he's been when he has been asked to pass. Haven't seen him do a ton of it, and this is a team that we know does a lot of it. But just watching him on that final drive after Bridgeport had the unfortunate turnover, being able to find his guy in the corner of the end zone with a perfectly placed ball.
So Bridgeport in the first half, meanwhile struggling in the first half, to say the least. What do you make of the Bulldogs in the first half? We talked about it a little bit during the break. Seems like every time they just get past midfield, things start to get messy for them.
Yeah, it's been a struggle trying to finish a drive. You know, they find some momentum moving it between the 20s, but as soon as they start to inch closer to that red zone, really the Sandy Creek defense locks down. And where it's being won in a lot of areas is that defensive front is controlling Bridgeport right now, making it extremely hard to run at any given time right now if you're the Bulldogs.
How about the way these two junior defensive ends have played for Sandy Creek? We talked about them a little bit. Gerdes and Biltoff, two junior defensive ends that have done a great job containing the Bridgeport run in the first half.
Yeah, I mean, they're running their assignments perfectly. When you're in that forefront in 8-man football, that defensive end is responsible for outside contain. And just watching them stretch it sideline to sideline and not getting caught out of position is what's made it so tough for Bridgeport, because those backers come up and they fill in a hurry.
How about that pop pass, what it's been leading to for Sandy Creek as well? We got to talk about it just because we've been talking about it so much. Gets people moving in the right direction, gets you a little full head of steam moving across on that jet sweep.
Yeah, I mean, it's just getting athletes in space. I mean, a pop pass, you don't see a lot of teams run it, at least not at the high school level, and just very, very efficient for this team. They're giving their athletes coming across the moment at a full-speed sprint, just giving that ball to them and go get in space, go make a play.
That's your kind of recap of the first half of action. Anything else you want to add there, Justin, before we head to stats after this break?
You know, the biggest thing is for Bridgeport, you got to find something at halftime. You haven't been down like this. Got to find something. Got to pull yourself out of it.
We'll step aside when we come back. Take a look at your first half numbers. Again, Sandy Creek leads Bridgeport 28-0 in this D1 quarterfinal on 94-1 the.
Whether exploring the majestic desert Southwest or enjoying the changing leaves in the high country, there are incredible experiences waiting to be discovered at an Arizona state park. Go to azstateparks.com to learn more.
At Lowe's, this Veterans Day and every day, verified military members, veterans, and their spouses get automatic silver status in My Lowe's Rewards with free standard shipping, plus 10% off eligible purchases with no annual limit. It's one way we honor and give back to those who have served and still do. Learn more now at lowes.com/military. 10% discount can't be combined with another offer. Exclusions, terms, and conditions apply. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
Hello, I'm here during the lunch rush with Janice, who owns her own food truck.
Best cheesesteaks in town.
Janice traded up to Geico Commercial Auto Insurance for her food truck business. We're here where she needs us most.
They sure are.
We make it so easy for her to save, with customized coverage that grows with her business. Sorry, I just get so emotional talking about saving folks money.
Not this onion I'm chopping?
It's just so beautiful. Oh yeah, no, it's the onion.
Get a commercial auto insurance quote today at geico.com and see how much you could save. Get more with Geico.
DSW, birthplace of the humble brag. Here, the shoes are so good, no one would ever know how little you paid, if you didn't go telling everyone, that is. And with never-ending options for every style, mood, and occasion, all at really great prices, we'll definitely give you something to brag about. So go ahead, stock up on fresh sneakers from your favorite brands, or try those boots you always secretly knew you could pull off. Find the shoes that get you, at prices that get your budget, at DSW stores or at DSW.com. Let us surprise you.
Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Rocket Money has saved users over $2.5 billion, and their 10 million members save up to $740 a year when they use all the app's premium features. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money at rocketmoney.com/offer. rocketmoney.com/offer.
Nobody knows trucking like the experts at Flatland Enterprises. Flatland Enterprises is a proud sponsor of Sandy Creek Athletics. The Fairfield Co-op is a small-town co-op that strives to bring the best customer service to you and is a proud supporter of Sandy Creek Athletics. Go Cougars!
JPL Crane Incorporated is proud of the hard work the Sandy Creek Cougars have put in this season. Good luck and go Cougars!
Trey Harmon, Justin Reimers back with you at the half for this matchup between Sandy Creek and Bridgeport. The defending state champions in control currently 28-0 at the half over the Bridgeport Bulldogs. Take a look at your first half numbers compiled by birthday boy statistician Alvin Harmon. Sandy Creek in the first half, 14 carries, 92 yards, 3 touchdowns. More than a chunk of that coming on the ground from quarterback Cam Seeley. 12 carries, 86 yards, and 3 touchdowns, averaging 7 yards a carry. Logan Tompke make that West Biltoff 1 carry for 5 yards, and Wyatt Hemberger 1 carry for 1 yard as well. Seeley also through the air, 8 for 12, 76 yards and a touchdown. And through the air, his favorite target so far has been Caden Schmidt, 3 catches, 19 yards. Logan Tompke, a single catch for 12 yards and a touchdown. West Biltoff has the most yards total, 2 catches, 30 yards, and Wyatt Hemberger, 2 catches for 15 yards, 8 catches, 76 yards for Sandy Creek. 2 penalties for 20 yards in that first half. Sandy Creek's offensive performance, just notes on it. It's been executed well, I think, is the biggest thing as we step away.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you expect to see from teams this deep in the playoffs. Just very minute execution. And, you know, we've seen a lot of that pop pass, that read option, that motion stuff. It's all extension of the run game. That's why it looks so much that they pass so often. But really, it's those simple little pop passes just extending the run game.
Meanwhile, for Bridgeport, not as efficient on the ground, nearly as many carries as they have yards. 20 carries for 27 yards. Bridgeport averaging a yard a carry in the first half, just about right there. And Nick Weibert's done most of the heavy lifting. 11 carries, 14 yards, 6 carries, 8 yards. Henry Blanco, 3 carries, 5 yards for James Jeffords. Nick through the air, 6 for 12, 54 yards, no touchdowns. His favorite target, Landon Dean, 2 catches for 31 yards. Gage 9 has 3 for 16 after being held catchless last week. And a single catch for Zach Jeffords for 7 yards. Total yards through the air again, 54 yards for Bridgeport. 3 penalties, but just for 15 yards for Bridgeport in the first half. Offensive thoughts?
Yeah, biggest thing for Bridgeport right now, got to find a way to get that running game going just a little bit. They have been their offensive line right now, unfortunately, is getting beat up. They're getting manhandled and not being able to create running lanes. Where we've seen them have running lanes is when they try and run that speed option, and actually what happens is Weibert puts his foot in the ground and goes straight up field. That's the only time they've really been able to run between the guards. For Bridgeport right now, got to find a rhythm and get back to what brought you here. Haven't been able to see them do that so far.
So that's just look at your first half stats, and we will step aside, look at some scores from the rest of the D1 quarterfinals when we come back. Again, it is 28-0 Sandy Creek leading Bridgeport at the half on 94.1 The Brand.
Dallin Ed presents.
Nobody knows trucking like the experts at Flatland Enterprises. Flatland Enterprises is a proud sponsor of Sandy Creek Athletics. The Fairfield Co-op is a small-town co-op that strives to bring the best customer service to you and is a proud supporter of Sandy Creek Athletics. Go Cougars!
JPL Crane Incorporated is proud of the hard work the Sandy Creek Cougars have put in this season. Good luck and go Cougars!
Every day, companies you've never heard of are making billions selling your personal information. They scrape your name, addresses, phone numbers, even details about your family, and sell it without your consent. Aura fights back. Aura removes your data from broker sites, keeps it off, and alerts you if your info shows up on the dark web. You also get VPN, antivirus, and a password manager. Start your free trial today at aura.com/listen. Protect yourself now at aura.com/listen.
This is the high school game of the week on 94.1 The Brand.
Trey Harmon, Justin Reimers back with you at the half. Bridgeport Sandy Creek battling in the D1 quarterfinals, 28-0. Not the only game going on around the region as well. As we take a look at some other D1 quarterfinal action over on 107.3 The Trail earlier today, Crofton handles Hemmingford 60-12 to bring the Bobcats' fantastic season to a close with 2 losses on the year. Hemmingford into the quarterfinals for the first time since their state championship season back in 2014. Congratulations to the Hemmingford Bobcats on a fantastic year. The game that the people involved in this game have their eye on, though, Plainview, Dundee County, Stratton. Plainview leads at 50-38 with, here in the fourth quarter, about 9 minutes left to play. If Plainview pulls off that upset, whoever comes out of this one would be hosting a semifinal playoff game next week with a chance at Lincoln on the line. Your other game in action is Shelby Rising City and Pender. That game is going to kick off at 7 o'clock. That is who will take on Crofton next week. If Pender pulls off the upset, Crofton will host a semifinal. Otherwise, the Warriors will head to Shelby Rising City if the seeds hold on. In D6 action, Garden County handling Silver Lake 36-6 at the half. Layton and Stewart in a battle, 31-25. Actually, check that. That game has gone final, 31-25. Stewart wins that one over Layton. The Warriors end their season. And that one, if the score that I'm looking at is correct, that game kicking off at 3 o'clock this afternoon. That appears to be the case. So Layton ends the year 8-2 on the season. The rest of the games in action, 16-8. Red Cloud leads Wallace in D6 action. No score between Southwest and SEM as well. In C1 action earlier today, the Sydney Red Raiders handled business down Fort Calhoun, 46-16. Sydney moves to 11-0 on the year and into a semifinal matchup with the winner of Aurora and Columbus Lakeview, which will kick off at 7 o'clock Central Time. Looking at those scores, anything really surprise you?
You know, the few of the scores, the biggest one, Plainview. I mean, Dundee County Stratton, I got to see that team live. They have a lot of athletes, so for Plainview to go into their house and do what they're doing, very shocking. You know, the close contest with Layton, they knew going into that one probably it was going to be a dogfight. You know, just excited to see for them back in the playoffs and making a little bit of a run.
Again, Layton's season comes to a close. Hemmingford's season comes to a close. Garden County is rolling right now in their current quarterfinal game, and Sydney moves on as well. We're in this one right now with Sandy Creek leading Bridgeport 28-0. At the half, we'll take one final break. We're back after this on 94.1 The Brand with the second half of action coming your way next.
Nobody knows trucking like the experts at Flatland Enterprises. Flatland Enterprises is a proud sponsor of Sandy Creek Athletics. The Fairfield Co-op is a small-town co-op that strives to bring the best customer service to you and is a proud supporter of Sandy Creek Athletics. Go Cougars!
JPL Crane Incorporated is proud of the hard work the Sandy Creek Cougars have put in this season. Good luck and go Cougars!
And if you're Bridgeport, you know, it's now or never, right? It's you better wake up and you better put some stops and some offensive drives together.
So Hemberger and Schmidt back to return this kickoff for the Cougars. We're set to go for the second half of action in this D1 quarterfinal. Bridgeport looking to make a little history, make the complete comeback. This kick will be fielded by Hemberger at the 7-yard line, running approach on it, gets across the 20, across the 25, cuts upfield, across the 30, 35, 40 is where he's finally brought down right at midfield by James Jeffers as kickoff coverage continues to give Bridgeport fits in recent weeks.
Yeah, and that's been one of the areas that Bridgeport has been unfortunately outmatched in the last couple of weeks is in the special teams game, and really thankful there Jeffords able to come up with a touchdown-saving tackle
2 weeks
to
in
start
a row.
this half. Yeah,
see that. Logan Levick last week had a fantastic, not just touchdown-saving tackle, strip from behind as well for Logan Levick, but James Jeffords makes the tackle. Sandy Creek still has it at their own 39-yard line, just ahead of that midfield stripe at the 40. Sealy empty backfield, 2 receivers, bottom of the formation. Tight end either side as they'll pack the line with tons of beef. Sealy 3-step drop out of this power set. Flips it to the flats to Tomke. Tomke flips it upfield, and he is going to be shy of the first down. That's going to be an 8-yard catch and run for Tomke on the near side to open up the second half.
Yeah, just an out route there for Sandy Creek. Get the ball out quick, get the ball to your guy, and an easy pickup on first down.
So Sandy Creek, chunk yardage on their first play of the second half. Second down and 2 on the way from the Bridgeport 33-yard line. Sandy Creek a little slower to the line here to begin the second half. Bridgeport rocking the 3-man front. Cole Leathead up the middle. Landon Dean and Riker Norman, your 2 defensive ends on this 3 front. Hamburger and Watts, your 2 receivers on the bottom of the set, built off your tight end on the top side. It looks like Schmidt is your back. Schmidt will get the carry on this handoff from Sealy. Schmidt cuts it back across the grain, tumbles across the 20 to the 15 to the 10, finally shoved out of bounds at the 11-yard line officially, as Schmidt carries it from the 32 up to the 11-yard line.
And that's something that we've seen. We haven't really seen much of him giving that football on that zone read stuff. Saw Riker Norman came in, and he had to respect the quarterback because he's kept it so often, and that's what allowed that alley to open up there for Sandy Creek.
Just the 3rd carry of the night, not carried by a player named Cam Sealy for the Sandy Creek Cougars. They have it at the 11-yard line with a chance at a first down. So Sandy Creek from the Bridgeport 11. Empty backfield. Tight end either side on this offensive line. Check that, just 2 tight ends on the top side. 3-step drop. Sealy flings it to the corner and it can't be hauled in on the far side. That's Schmidt, the intended target, goes off of his can't. Check that. That's Tomke, the intended target on the incomplete pass at the goal line.
Yeah, and that honestly was really, really good coverage there by Weibert going across the formation. And just a better pass. And fortunate for Bridgeport, that ball was dropped.
So 2nd and 10 on the way for Sandy Creek from the Bridgeport 11. Sandy Creek with their first possession of the second half in front of Bridgeport 28-0, trying to add on to that lead. Could get to a running clock situation here in a hurry if you're Bridgeport defensively. So Sealy single back set, 2 receivers bottom of the formation. It's Watts and Hamburger. Sealy quarterback power all the way following the block of Clark, and he's chopped down at the 2-yard line after that 8-yard carry.
Yeah, just very, very well blocked there by Sandy Creek. They got the guys in the right positions, and what they do is they bring that backside guard, and it's a kick-out block, and they do it so well that it creates that alley, and he just finds it for a big pickup.
So Sandy Creek looking at 3rd and short from the Bridgeport 2-yard line. Could get a first down if they just get it across the 1-yard line. They're going to go with that 2-wing set to the strong side, the right side. Will this Sandy Creek offense? 2 wings behind the tight end and built off is Schmidt and Clark, the 2 senior backs. Sealy out of the gun, fields it at his head, trying to stretch it to the outside, and Sealy will give himself up back at the 4-yard line to bring up 4th and 4.
Yeah, big play here for the Bridgeport Bulldogs, 4th and 4, and first drive here for Sandy Creek in this second half. Be a big momentum shot for Bridgeport to be able to get off the field on this one.
So Sandy Creek 4 yards away from pay dirt. Bridgeport backs against their own goal line, trying to keep Sandy Creek out of the end zone to begin the second half. Same set, 2 wings to the right side behind the tight end and Tomke. Bridgeport showing blitz, and they're going to say Cody Bates crossed the line and into the neutral zone, and that will give Sandy Creek a first down.
Yeah, just tough break there. Went with the hard count, and were able to catch Bridgeport in what was going to be a blitz formation. Actually, in fact, it's only half the distance. So make that 4th down, and now a short 1 to go.
I wasn't confident, Coach. I was pretty sure, but for some reason I still set a fresh set of downs. So back to where they really had the ball spotted on that 3rd down play. 4th and 1 to go from the 2-yard line. Sandy Creek trying to punch it in to begin the second half. Bridgeport packs the box. Pretty much every defender within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. Sealy right through the middle for another touchdown. That's his 4th rushing touchdown of the night. This time Sealy punches it in from 2 yards out. Barely got touched as he went between guard and tight end. It is 34-0 Sandy Creek over Bridgeport on the first drive of the second half, 9:55 remaining.
Yeah, and again, it's that same formation where they got those 2 up backs. Really, they're just extra blockers in a big set and just dictating their will on that offensive line.
So Sandy Creek will go for 2. Whether they went for 1 or 2, this will be the chance for them to start the running clock here in the second half. Fakes the pop pass, flips it back corner. Tomke hauls it in at the back pylon for the 2-point conversion. 36-0 Sandy Creek over Bridgeport with 9:55 remaining in the 3rd quarter. We're back after this.
When you're in HR, it can feel like nothing is easy. From payroll to PTO, from onboarding to benefits, and everything in between. It's a constant juggle of tasks, systems, and spreadsheets. But your HR software? That's the easy part.
Nobody knows trucking like the experts at Flatland Enterprises. Flatland Enterprises is a proud sponsor of Sandy Creek Athletics. The Fairfield Co-op is a small-town co-op that strives to bring the best customer service to you and is a proud supporter of Sandy Creek Athletics. Go Cougars!
JPL Crane Incorporated is proud of the hard work the Sandy Creek Cougars have put in this season. Good luck and go Cougars!
Fourth rushing touchdown of the evening for Sandy Creek's Cam Seeley gives us a running clock situation. 36-0 is your score. Sandy Creek over Bridgeport. This kickoff goes into the end zone and out the back for a touchback for Bridgeport to begin their first drive of the second half at their own 15-yard line.
Yeah, first drive of the second half, and right now you're Bridgeport down 36-0 in this ball game early in the second half. Really just got to find something, got to dig deep, got to go get your own points on the board to really try. If you want to claw back into this one, it's got to start here.
You don't want your season to end on a running clock if you're Bridgeport. Claw back into this one, play as much football as you can here in this quarterfinal matchup. 9:55 remaining in the third quarter. Sandy Creek strikes first in the second half. Bridgeport will begin the second half with an empty backfield and three receivers to the top side. Riker Norman, your tight end, on the backside on the line of scrimmage. Weibert, pump fake. Now looking downfield, pressure coming from the backside. He's brought down, ball loose. Sandy Creek unable to get back on top of it, as hauling that in is Bridgeport back at the 3-yard line.
Unfortunately, I think that was Weibert just trying to make a play and looking for the big shot early, trying to get it all back at once. Unfortunately on that one.
And Riker Norman got on top of it back at the 4-yard line. Ball popped out at the last second. Sandy Creek thought they got it, but they deemed Riker Norman had full control and was down back at the 4-yard line before that ball popped out. So second down and well behind the sticks for Bridgeport. 11 yards behind it. Second and 21 on the way from back at the 4-yard line. Line to gain is the 25 for Bridgeport. Blanco is your single back on the left side of Nick Weibert. One receiver, bottom of the set, gauge 9. They have it on the near hash. Direct snap back to Henry Blanco. Blanco stretching it out to the top side, and there's going to be a flag flying in from the top side.
Yeah, I think they're going to get Bridgeport for a hold there as they were trying to set the edge, and just Sandy Creek being very aggressive with their hands, able to draw that one.
So Bridgeport with some self-inflicted maybe. Nope, like you said.
Shot block.
Nope, so it was self-inflicted. Sandy Creek will also decline the penalty on the near side here.
Yeah, just doing anything they can to try and set the edge, but one thing you got to remember, if you're going low, it has to be within inside the tackle box, which is within 3 yards, a 3-yard small box on the edge of the line there.
Was there that point in the game?
Yeah.
Getting the chop block breakdown. Good to get those refreshers, you know. You're like our own Gene Steratore up here in the booth.
You know, I try. You know, we were talking about a telestrator. That sure would be fun, although nobody can see me.
It would be just for us, right? We'd enjoy it. Snap back, Weibert. Sprint out, and it's going to be a safety. As Sandy Creek swarms Nick Weibert in the backfield, and Sandy Creek adds on 38-0 as their route continues over Bridgeport with 8:34 remaining in the third quarter.
Yeah, just defensively there. Sandy Creek defensive line blew that one up from the get-go, and Weibert had nowhere to go. Just unfortunate break there for the Bulldogs.
So Bridgeport now will have to kick it away from the 20-yard line after the safety as Nick Weibert was brought down from the backside in the end zone. So Sandy Creek, defending state champions, looking good this evening. 38-0, 8:34 remaining in the third quarter.
Yeah, looking good so far on this evening, and it's hard to believe that this team actually has a loss on the season. I'd be really curious to see that Shelby Rising City.
Be fun to go back and look at that one. It was one touchdown game, just an 8-point loss for them. And Coach Kuda said flat out that they weren't playing their best ball in week 2. They've, like a fine wine, gotten better a little as each week has passed. So it's a matchup that they would really look forward to if they got to that point down the line. It would be in Lincoln at this point if they got there. So Bridgeport will boot it away from their own 15-yard line. Cody Bates to kick it away. And let's see if they're going to have Cody Bates punt this one away or do the kickoff. They will have him punt it away, which is interesting because Cody Bates he's not this team's punter.
No, but he does have quite the leg. We saw him punch one through the wind last week in Bridgeport into the end zone.
See if it translates from kickoff to punt for Cody Bates. Puts the right foot into it. It does, as Cody Bates sends a side spinner down the field. Fielded back at the 14-yard line for the Bridgeport Bull for Sandy Creek. And Schmidt will take it to the far side of the field before being brought down at the 23-yard line. Cody Bates was almost there to clean him up on the far side.
I mean, he's got a leg. That was a long kick for a punt, and able to get it down there, and very good coverage there for the Bridgeport Bulldogs return team.
It's a 50-yard punt on the safety punt for Cody Bates. Flipped it from the 15 to the 14, so we'll give him that extra 51 on the safety punt. Got to give him that extra one. Too bad that doesn't show up in a stat sheet anywhere.
Right. So
fresh to the downs for Sandy Creek. Inside of 8 minutes remaining. Clock is running with the 38-point lead as Sandy Creek has it out of the safety punt. Again with 8 minutes. Sealy trips near side, flings it downfield into the hands of Hemberger. Hemberger has it at the 30, breaks away from a couple of tacklers, finally banged out of bounds at the 37-yard line for Sandy Creek. That is a catch and run all the way up again to the 37 for Sandy Creek.
Yeah, seeing them coming out and throwing a lot more traditional passes here in this second half, getting into their route tree a little bit, going trips to the near side, and hits the simple out route for a nice pitch and catch.
7:20 remaining in the third quarter. 38-0 again your score. Sandy Creek leading Bridgeport. Tomke in the slot. Watts split out wide. Pistol set for Sandy Creek with Schmidt in the backfield. Built off your tight end top side as they have it shaded towards the right hash at the 37. Swing pass into the backfield. That's a backwards pass for Schmidt. And Schmidt on the rush on the backwards pass will be brought down for a loss of, call it, 3 yards.
Yeah, very good job there by Landon Dean on the far side, able to shed his blocker and just make a great tackle in space, dropping for a loss of about 4.
I say 3, he says 4.
I'm counting the hash marks.
Counting hash marks. That would be the smart thing to do.
You know, I know. We never said we were good at math, though.
No, never said we were good at doing the logical thing. 2 receivers on the outside of the set on the right side. It's Tomke, Hemberger in the slot. Single back for Sandy Creek. Sealy in the backfield. Takes the snap. Looking downfield. Pressure in his face. Evades it. A lot of green grass in front of him. Actually, it's more of a yellow-green as he gets away from Wybert across midfield. Across the 30. Runs safely out of bounds at the 28-yard line as Sealy trots from the 34 to the 28. Flips the field into Bridgeport territory.
Yeah, tough break there for Bridgeport. It was able to corral him initially. Had a chance at a sack, but just too elusive. Able to get out in space. Wins one-on-one against Wybert. You don't see that very often as he scampers down for a big pickup on the play.
38-0 your score. Sandy Creek over Bridgeport. Clock continues to run as we're at that mark with Sandy Creek leading plus 35. Tomke split out wide. Hemberger in the slot on the boundary side. Built off your tight end top side. Single back is Schmidt on the left side of Sealy. In motion, Hemberger from right to left. Pop pass into his hands as he has it. Cuts it upfield across the 25 to the 21-yard line on that reception on the pop pass for Hemberger. That's a 9-yard catch.
Yeah, and you know what? They haven't really done much for a change in formation, change in plays. Really, they run the same thing over and over again, and they just do it so well that it makes it hard to defend.
Make that a 7-yard reception for Hemberger on the pop pass as he kind of popped forward up to that yard line that I was referencing.
Enjoying that word tonight.
Yeah. Need to find a new word for it. Sealy will empty out the backfield. 3 receivers, bottom of the formation. Sealy 5 yards deep. 2nd down and 3 on the way. Sealy pump fake. Now he's going to tuck it and run himself across the 15, across the 10, out of bounds at the top of the formation, and a player down in the backfield for Bridgeport.
Now, one thing I got to say about Sealy, watching him break contain on these scramble plays where he picks up chunks of yards, he's really smart when he gets to near the sideline. You know, he could fight for extra yards, but very quickly he knows that he's still got more season yet to go, just dipping out of bounds to pick up what he can.
Riker Norman will be helped up and walked off the field for Bridgeport. A bit hobbly as he bounces off the field, holding that left leg in the air.
Yeah, tough to see that there for Riker Norman. Been a big key component of this team for the Bulldogs all season long.
38-0 your score. Clock stops as Sealy ran out of play. Now they will run the clock after the injury timeout. Ball at the 9-yard line after that Sealy carry on the pass play that broke down, but he made something out of it. Watson near side, your receiver. They'll go with that 2-wing look Check that, just a single wing to the right side for Sandy Creek. Tight end either side in this empty backfield. Sealy, pressure in his face, evades it. Ray Roberts, check that Cole Leathead there to clean it up, and that's Cole Leathead's first sack of the evening. Back of the 15-yard line, Sealy goes down, and 2nd and goal on the way from the 15 for Sandy Creek.
Yeah, good job there by Leathead, just able to wait for him to step up in the pocket. He slid over from his defensive end position as others were getting the rush on, and just able to really a great play there.
For Cole Leathead, first sack of the season, second tackle for loss. Brings up 2nd and 15, make that 2nd and goal from the 15 for Sandy Creek, 3:40 remaining in this third quarter. 3 receivers, bottom of the formation. Hemberger flexed out the widest with Watts in the slot and Tomke on the inside. Snapback Sealy. Dean in his face, pressure. It's a screen out to Biltoff. It falls incomplete, short of the intended target on the left side of the field. 3rd and 15. 3rd and goal from the 15 on the way.
Bridgeport right now getting more creative with their defensive front. They've got They've got more speed there with. Lost it.
Sebastian Quigley.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry, I lost it there. Sebastian Quigley running some stunts there on their defensive front, some twists, and getting some pressure out of it.
I'm just glad I realized what you were talking about.
I'm so glad. You know, we've been doing this long enough that you can help me out like that.
Right. It was my realization that Sebastian's in there as well as I looked up and figured out what you're talking about pretty quick. 2 receivers, Hemberger and Watts in the slot. Sealy play fake. Looking down the middle, flings it down the seam. Schmidt hauls it in at the goal line for the touchdown for Sandy Creek. Caden Schmidt, 10th receiving touchdown of the season, makes it 44-0. Sandy Creek over Bridgeport with 2:37 remaining in the third quarter.
Yeah, right now just everything Sandy Creek draws up going their way, just right up the seam route and able to find him to walk into the end zone.
So Ben Berger to boot it away out of the hold of Alex Watts. Snap back, spot down, kick on the way. Berger dinks it off the inside of the upright and through. A little flare on that one for Ben Berger. We'll step aside. Sandy Creek leads it 45-0 over the Bridgeport Bulldogs on 94-1 The Brand.
Nobody knows trucking like the experts at Flatland Enterprises. Flatland Enterprises is a proud sponsor of Sandy Creek Athletics. The Fairfield Co-op is a small-town co-op that strives to bring the best customer service to you and is a proud supporter of Sandy Creek Athletics. Go Cougars!
JPL Crane Incorporated is proud of the hard work the Sandy Creek Cougars have put in this season. Good luck and go Cougars!
On the brand.
Okay. So for the first time, I think we can say all season, delay a game on the kickoff.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen that one before. I'm sure you saw my reaction. I'm sitting here confused. I'm like, that was definitely the line judge on the kickoff team. No, I think they're getting it from illegal formation.
But you have time to fix that. You don't have that till the ball's kicked.
Yeah, so I don't know. They marched him back 15 though.
15 yards, huh?
I know he's still going.
Goodness gracious, we have a 20-yard penalty. What constitutes a 20-yard penalty before the ball's even kicked?
Is that unsportsmanlike conduct? But even then, it's only 15.
Right.
I'm not sure.
Unless it's two stacked penalties?
Possibly.
I don't know. We'll never know. We'll have to ask someone's brother after the game if they got a good explanation for us. Anyway, Berger will boot it away from his own 10-yard line. Sends it away. It'll be fielded by Jeffords. That's Zach at the 15-yard line, trying to bring it across the 30. He will. Cuts it upfield to the 34-yard line. So Bridgeport will begin this drive, and that will be their best starting field position of the evening.
Yeah, best starting field position of the evening. And right now, just trying to go out there and generate something. Got to find a little bit of momentum get this goose egg off the board if you're the Bridgeport Bulldogs.
Bridgeport takes over at their 34 after the Zach Jeffords return. 1st and 10 from the 34 for Bridgeport. Sandy Creek 1 still out there getting their playing time in. 2 receivers top side for Bridgeport. It's Cody Bates and Gage 9 in the slot. Wybert single back is Blanco. Speed out to the near side on the option. And Wybert's going to tuck it and run himself, as we've seen many times tonight on that same play. That'll be a 4-yard carry for Nick Wybert. I don't think we've seen him pitch it once on that speed option on either side.
No, I have not seen him pitch it once, and it's been the most effective play here for the Bridgeport Bulldog offense when he finds that alley, just putting his foot in the ground and getting north and south.
So 2nd and 6 on the way for Bridgeport. Going to ignore that it says 2nd and 7 on the scoreboard and not take my time to count any hash marks. 2nd and 6 on the way for Bridgeport. 9 top side. Riker Norman back out there for Bridgeport. Good to see. He's lined up at a wing spot on the right side. Henry Blanco, left hip of Nick Wybert. Wybert pulls it. He's going to run it himself for a 2nd consecutive play. Spun down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on that carry for Nick Wybert to bring up 3rd and 7.
Yeah, decided to pull that one, but honestly, there was really no running room to either side. Very well blocked, or very well defended by the Sandy Creek defensive front, and nowhere to go on that play.
So 45-0 your score inside of a minute remaining in the 3rd quarter. Running clock situation. Cody Bates top side, Gage 9 in the slot. Henry Blanco in the backfield on the left side of Nick Wybert. Wybert from the gun. Quick out to Gage 9 in the flat right at the sticks, and he's going to be chopped down right at the line of scrimmage. Will Gage 9 to bring up 4th down. See if Bridgeport just takes this one into the 4th quarter.
Yeah, great open field tackle there by Sandy Creek. That safety flying up on Gage 9, who we've seen can be elusive, but nowhere to go on that one.
So 4th down on the way for Bridgeport. 4th and 7 still. They've gone nowhere on 2 consecutive plays. And it looks like Bridgeport's going to take this one into the 4th quarter of action. So when we return, 4th quarter coming your way. Bridgeport trailing at 45-0 to Sandy Creek in this D1 quarterfinal on 94-1 The Brand.
Nobody knows trucking like the experts at Flatland Enterprises. Flatland Enterprises is a proud sponsor of Sandy Creek Athletics. The Fairfield Co-op is a small-town co-op that strives to bring the best customer service to you and is a proud supporter of Sandy Creek Athletics. Go Cougars!
JPL Crane Incorporated is proud of the hard work the Sandy Creek Cougars have put in this season. Good luck and go Cougars!
In the 4th quarter, Henry Blanco will punt it away. Hemberger back to receive it, back at his own 8-yard line. Hemberger approaches. He'll field it at the 12, falls into it, brought down quickly by Diego Quigley as the gunner on the near side. Sandy Creek begins the 4th quarter with the ball at their own 14-yard line.
Yeah, and right now it's been all Sandy Creek in this football game. Bridgeport really struggled. Only have 1 defensive stop so far in this ball game. Been struggle on any way. And right now, you're Bridgeport, you're going into the last quarter of your season and really kind of just fighting for pride at this one.
45-0 again your score in the 4th quarter of action. We are happy to have you along for Bridgeport football on 94-1 The Brand and online at KNEBFM.com. Winner of this game goes on to take on the winner of Dundee County Stratton in Plainview in a game that should be final at this point. See if that is in fact the case. Sealy out of the run. We'll take it on the options. Pitch it out to the outside. Schmidt sprints forward for a 5-yard gain on that carry.
Yeah, it's simple. It's a play we've seen a lot, that speed option there for Sandy Creek, and one of the few times we've actually seen him pitch it in this ball game.
And it is official. The winner of this game will host Plainview next week as they win by 20 over Dundee County Stratton, 64-44. So Plainview, as how it looks right now, will be coming to Sandy Creek for a semifinal matchup next week on this field.
And that's a statement. I mean, to go into Dundee County, a team that has been very good all season long, and shock them in their house.
So Crofton also the other winner in the other quarterfinal game. They're awaiting the winner of Shelby Rising City. And Pender. Sealy will be corralled from behind. Another sack for the Bridgeport defense. Landon Dean is second of the night, his 14th of the season for the junior. Big loss on that play. Brings it back to the original line of scrimmage back at the 15-yard line.
Yeah, we've seen Landon Dean be able to find some wiggle room there a few times to try to get around that offensive tight end, and gets home again on that one and drops it back to the original line of scrimmage.
3rd and 10 on the way from the 14 for Sandy Creek after the sack, taking their time between plays inside of 10 minutes remaining in this quarterfinal matchup. Like I said, Sandy Creek taking their time. The play has been called, just waiting to get set at the line. Hand in the air. Now Sandy Creek, I assume, will approach the ball. Instead, they will call a timeout. Well, we'll take one with them. Sandy Creek leading at 45-0 over Bridgeport on 94-1, the brand.
When you're in HR, it can feel like nothing is easy.
Nobody knows trucking like the experts at Flatland Enterprises. Flatland Enterprises is a proud sponsor of Sandy Creek Athletics. The Fairfield Co-op is a small-town co-op that strives to bring the best customer service to you and is a proud supporter of Sandy Creek Athletics. Go Cougars!
JPL Crane Incorporated is proud of the hard work the Sandy Creek Cougars have put in this season. Good luck and go Cougars!
Back with you after the Sandy Creek timeout. It's 45-0, 9:35 remaining in the fourth quarter. Sandy Creek leads Bridgeport. They're on 94-1. The brand. Sandy Creek looking at 3rd and 10. Sealy, 3-step drop. Sandy Creek evades, flushed up from the pocket, flings it downfield. Pass falls incomplete at the 26-yard line. Intended for Biltoff on the near side, the intended target. Pass incomplete. 4th down on the way for Sandy Creek. About to see the only second punt of the game for the Cougars.
Yeah, Landon Dean in the backfield again there that time, making it tough for him to be able to find his man downfield and just kind of short arms that one.
So Cam Sealy to boot it away for Sandy Creek. Second time this evening as Zach Jeffords retreats to field this punt at his own 29-yard line is where he will set up. Snap back, Sealy fields it at the face mask, puts the right foot into it. It's a wobbler off the side of the foot. It'll go out of play right at midfield. Let's see where they mark this off. I mean, they're going to give it to him right at, not at the 40, at the 38 on the Sandy Creek side of the field.
I feel you there, watching the referee just slowly walking down. Sometimes I sit and wonder, and I'm like, do they honestly know where they want to mark this out at?
I wonder what that rule is. I should ask someone where you watch it go out of play, if you actually have a guess or if you just have to, like, walk it off with where you think it was.
I think they call that an educated guess.
No one actually knows. Love that. So Bridgeport takes over for the technically second time in this fourth quarter as they open up the quarter with a punt. Nick Weibert no backs, called it an empty backfield in most situations. 3 receivers, bottom of the formation. 8 minutes on the clock as after the punt by Sandy Creek. Weibert quarterback draw all the way up to the 35-yard line on that 3-yard carry.
Yeah, just called the quarterback draw, trying to spread him out with the 3 receivers to the near side. And not much running room. Again, that defensive front, got to tip my hat to them for Sandy Creek. They have controlled this line of scrimmage all night.
So 2nd and 8 now from the 36-yard line for Bridgeport after the Weibert draw on 1st down. Henry Blanco, the back on the left hip of Nick Weibert. Line to gain up at the 28-yard line for Bridgeport for a 1st down. Cody Bates moving all around on the bottom of the set here. Weibert aired it out down the near sideline. Landon Dean gets separation at the 15. He hauls it in and dragged down at the 2-yard line is Landon Dean. Big catch for Landon, officially marked at the 3-yard line. And Bridgeport at the goal line for the first time all night.
Yeah, first time all night, and that's a shot play that we have not seen from this Bulldog team. First time that Landon Dean's able to get behind the coverage. And, man, I got to give it to a great tackle because Landon Dean had a chance to walk into the end zone on that one.
So first and goal for the first time this evening after Landon Dean hauls it in on the near side. And Bridgeport knocking at the door of the goal line for the first time today. Logan Leathead enters as the right guard. Cole Leathead, your left guard. Caden Schultz, your center. Landon Dean, your tight end on the near side. Riker Norman, your wing on the left. For the back, Henry Blanco with 9 to the top side of the formation. First and goal, Bridgeport flips it to Landon Dean. Dean bounces off a defender. Landon lowers the shoulder, and he's into the end zone. Landon Dean, 3-yard receiving touchdown on the pop pass into the end zone for the first time this evening. Bridgeport gets on the board with 6:26 remaining in the fourth.
That is the first time we have seen Bridgeport run a pop pass of their own, and that was all Landon Dean saying, I will not be denied. He should have been tackled in the backfield, able to shred that first defender and then bully his way into the end zone.
So Bridgeport will elect to go for 2 after their first touchdown of the evening. 6:26 remaining on the clock. 2 receivers, bottom of the formation. Landon Dean split out wide on the tops of the set. Henry Blanco the back. Weibert fields it at his knees, flicks it towards Cody Bates. That pass caught up in traffic and falls incomplete in the end zone. So Bridgeport finally gets on the board in the fourth quarter with 6:26 remaining on the pop pass from Weibert to Landon Dean. It's almost like you just said, why not try it?
You know what? We've seen them run it. I bet we can do that too. Landon Dean was so aggressive on that one, though. The most impressive was shedding that defensive end, who we've seen make some big plays in this football game, shreds him, and then gets into the end zone.
So Weibert bounces off of the far side defensive end, tumbles into the end zone for a 3-yard receiving touchdown on the quick pass as he comes in motion from his tight end spot. So Bridgeport with some life here in the fourth quarter. 45-6 is your score. 6:26 remaining on the clock. Sandy Creek will advance. If they win this one, hold on to these last 6.5 minutes to host Plainview in a semifinal matchup on this field next Friday, the 14th.
Yeah, semifinal game, and that's where, it gets real. You're one game away from punching your ticket to Lincoln. Something that you live in Nebraska, you play high school football in Nebraska. That's a dream to end up in Lincoln at the end of your season.
And for Sandy Creek, trying to get back for a second consecutive year after winning last year, capping off a perfect undefeated season. Cody Bates approaches, puts the right foot into it. It's a low spinner that'll be fielded by Hemberger at the 6-yard line on the far side of the field. Hemberger cuts it up at the 10-yard line, trying to cut it back across the grain, across the 15, across the 20, banged out of bounds at the 22-yard line is Hemberger on that return.
Yeah, excellent return there by Sandy Creek. They've got a few guys that can just make some men miss when they got the ball in their hands. It's not just their quarterback, and a nice pickup on the return there.
So Sandy Creek to begin their second drive of the fourth quarter from their 21-yard line on the far hash. Inside of 6 minutes remaining, Sandy Creek will take their time as players begin to work their way into the rotation for the Cougars. Check that. Cam Seeley still out there in that quarterback spot, not keen to get the backups in there quite yet on their home field. 5:30 remaining in this contest. Cam Seeley empty backfield, 3-step drop, looking to air it out. Looking near side, looking for separation. Hemberger and Logan Levick both play for the ball on the near side. Pass falls incomplete at the 30-yard line to bring up 2nd and 10.
And again, Landon Dean in the backfield, making his life tough to try and throw the football, and really is causing those missed throws that we saw him be so precise in that first half. Landon Dean just making it tough.
2nd and 10 now for Sandy Creek. Going to be inside of 5 minutes by the time this ball is snapped. Seeley trots his team back up to the line. Schmidt is your back. 2 receivers top side, Hemberger and Watts. Watts on the outside, Hemberger in the slot, built off your tight end near side. Still waiting for the clock to trickle down a little further. Now Seeley out of the pistol. Will hand it off to Schmidt. Schmidt between tackles, tucks in open field, and he's brought down right at the 40-yard line by the combination of Cody Bates and Zach Jeffords right at that midfield mark for Sandy Creek.
Yeah, don't see him do it often, that zone read, given the football, but you know what? They can do that too. Do a nice little run right in between the guard and the tight end there. Picks up a nice chunk play on first down.
So Sandy Creek, fresh set of downs. Going to snap this ball probably right at the 4-minute mark remaining in this contest as the Cougars trot to the line on their home field right at that midfield mark. Hemberger split out wide. Watts in the slot. Single back is Schmidt once again. on the left side of Cam Seeley, inside of 4 minutes in this contest remaining. Seeley shotgun snap, will field it right at his chest. 3-step drop, flings it near side of the hands of Alex Watts, who's brought out of bounds as he dives out at the 33-yard line for Sandy Creek. That'll be Alex Watts' first reception of the evening as that goes for 7 yards.
Yeah, it was an excellent timing route. Knew exactly where he wanted to go with that football because Landon Dean was bearing down on him again in the backfield, but gets the ball out quick and on rhythm.
So 2nd and 3 on the way. Sandy Creek from the Bridgeport 33-yard line, 3:24 remaining in the game. Running clock situation, Sandy Creek leading by 39 points, 45-6 in this quarterfinal. Trips top side, split out all the way to the top is Caden Schmidt. Hamburger and Watts on the inside as the receivers, built off your tight end on the line, bottom of the formation. 3-man front for Bridgeport. Quigley, the nose tackle, flanked by Dean and Leathead. 3-step drop, Seeley flings it far side into the hands. Hamburger quickly taken out of bounds at the far side at the 25-yard line. That's a 5-yard reception. Make that a 8-yard reception for Hamburger on the top side.
Yeah, again, just the timing route. They realize Landon Dean's teeing off on the edge here, trying to get to the quarterback, so they're getting the ball out of his hands quick on these shorter routes and letting their playmakers do the rest.
2:30 remaining in the contest. Sandy Creek into Bridgeport territory, a little deeper as they're up to the 26-yard line. Taking their time to get up to the line and call the play, trying to run out the clock and advance to a quarterfinal matchup here on this field against Plainview next week, who pulled off the upset of Dundee County Stratton in Dundee County. 1st and 10, Sandy Creek from the 26 of Bridgeport. Near side, and that pass out of the reach towards the sideline of Hamburger. Ball's incomplete to bring up 2nd and 10. Going to be inside of 2 minutes by the time they get back to the line.
Yeah, not able to connect on that one. Just going again with that quick game, those 5 and out, just trying to get the ball out of his hands quickly, and just missed on that one.
So inside of 2 minutes, 1:55 and ticking on the clock. Schmidt swaps places and takes the place on the field of Sandy Creek's Cohen Eitzman. 2nd and 10 on the way for Sandy Creek. 2 receivers, bottom of the set, Watts, Hamburger, and Schmidt on the inside. Built off, tight end, top side of the formation, empty backfield for the sophomore Cam Seeley. 2nd and 10 from the 26 for the Sandy Creek Cougars. Snap back, flips it out to Schmidt. Schmidt in the flats, cuts across the 25 and out of bounds at the 22-yard line on the reception.
Yeah, wide receiver screen out of that 3 wide receiver set to the near side. Just a quick little flip out to his guy in space and able to pick up a nice play on 1st down.
So 1:10 on the clock, ticking away, and from the looks of it, Sandy Creek, in fact, I can guarantee it seems, that Sandy Creek will advance to a state semifinal for a chance to get back at the state championship for a 2nd consecutive year. And they will advance to take on Plainview on this field as the Pirates pulled off the upset. So once again, inside of a minute to go, Seeley out of the gun, 3 receivers top side, 45 seconds on the clock. Seeley drops back, flings it out into the hands. That's the first catch of the evening for Evan Schwartzendruber, as he hauls it in for the first time this evening. And one of the first sets I see him enter in.
Yeah, again, just right now doing whatever they want at will. Short passes, that short passing game here for Sandy Creek has been extremely effective in this second half.
So with that should be one more play is all Sandy Creek should have to run. And then they're on to the state semifinals next week on this field to host Plainview once again, who pulled off the win over Dundee County. Again, Sandy Creek now advances to the state semifinals to host Plainview, and Bridgeport season comes to a close after the 45-6 loss here on the road.
Yeah, just a tough one if you're Bridgeport. You know, they had quite the magical run this year. Had a few times where they started slow, were able to pull back, but against this Sandy Creek team who was very sound all game, unable to battle back in this one.
Once again, Sandy Creek wins it 45-6 over the Bridgeport Bulldogs. We'll step aside and we come back, continue our post-game coverage here on 94.1 The Brand. Bridgeport season comes to a close tonight in.
It's late.
Nobody knows trucking like the experts at Flatland Enterprises. Flatland Enterprises is a proud sponsor of Sandy Creek Athletics. The Fairfield Co-op is a small-town co-op that strives to bring the best customer service to you and is a proud supporter of Sandy Creek Athletics. Go Cougars!
JPL Crane Incorporated is proud of the hard work the Sandy Creek Cougars have put in this season. Good luck and go Cougars!
Can recruitment be beautiful? At LHH, we believe it can when it's rooted in purpose, not just process. We don't just match resumes to roles, we uncover once-in-a-lifetime talent. We understand the skills you need so we can connect you with people who align with your vision and can deliver lasting impact. Discover a more human approach to hiring. Visit lhh.com/beautiful. Recruitment, development, career transition. LHH, a beautiful working world.
This is the high school game of the week on 94.1 The Brand.
Trey Harmon back with you alongside Justin Reimers as we wrap up this season for the Bridgeport Bulldogs. It comes to a close with a 45-6 loss to the defending state champion Sandy Creek Cougars on the road in Fairfield. Your thoughts as we walk away from this before we look at post-game stats?
You know, it was just one team came out. They were efficient. They knew exactly what they wanted to do in a game plan. And unfortunately, Bridgeport, just not enough horses. They gave up some points early to Sandy Creek and just never really able to battle back in this one. But still, got to be proud of that. If you're a Bulldog, a heck of a season, a heck of a run. Latest they've played into a football season in quite some time.
Again, Bridgeport's season comes to a close, 45-6 of the loss. They end the year 9-2, one of the best Bridgeport seasons in a long time. Into the quarterfinals for the first time since 1999. Picked up a second-round win for the first time in school history. For the victorious Sandy Creek Cougars, 170 yards total on the ground, 4 rushing touchdowns for Cam Seeley, 117 on the ground with 19 carries. 3 carries for 47 yards for Caden Schmidt, 5 yards on 1 carry for Wes Biltoff, and 1 yard on 1 carry for Wyatt Hamburger. Seeley was 17 for 26 through the air, 142 yards and 2 touchdowns. Caden Schmidt hauled one in, 6 catches, 35 yards, 2 catches, 20 yards for Logan Tomke, and a single touchdown, 2 catches, 30 yards for Wes Biltoff, and 5 catches, 45 yards for Wyatt Hamburger. 3 penalties for 40 yards for the Cougars of Sandy Creek in a game where they clicked on all facets.
Yeah, clicked on all facets, and, you know, where they want it, granted, give all the credit to that quarterback, but when their offensive and defensive line can control the line of scrimmage throughout the entire football game, it makes those running lanes really easy to find.
And for Bridgeport, they end the night 25 carries, just 18 yards on the ground. 16 carries for Nick Weibert, ends the night with 5 rushing yards. Unofficially, 6 carries, 8 yards for Henry Blanco. Nick through the air, 9 for 14, 84 yards, and a touchdown to Landon Dean, who had 4 catches for 61 yards, while Gage 9 had 4 catches for 16 yards, and Zach Jeffords had a catch for 7 yards, 9 catches, 84 yards for the Bulldogs, 4 penalties for 17 yards. When you look back on this year, what's going to be your key memory for this Bridgeport squad?
You know, it's the resilience of this ball club. You know, I know it didn't shake out the way they wanted to tonight, but the way that they've gone up against tough competition, they've been down at times, but they were never rattled, never phased. You know, this team really came together and showed what they're capable of. And, you know, that senior leadership, some of these kids have been starting for 4 years now, going to be deeply missed. But this team, very resilient.
And, you know, it's been a fun ride. We just kind of by chance, your brother mentioning, hey, you should call my brother, have him come do color for you. It'd be a good time. And it's been just that. I appreciate everything you've done this year. Looking forward to next year when we get to do this again.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate the phone call. It's been a lot of fun to get back at a booth. I miss doing this, so it's been great.
Well, as long as you'll have me by your side, we'll be up here and we'll keep asking you to come back.
Well, you know what? I think I might have to take the proposal.
All right. We'll see you next fall then. Until then, don't talk to me.
Okay, got it.
That's Justin Reimers. We appreciate his time this season for all these Bridgeport games. Did a great job doing color. And the birthday man to my right, Alvin Harmon, did a great job compiling all the stats for our broadcast this season. With that in mind, we'll step aside. We'll say so long. Congratulations to the Bridgeport Bulldogs as their season comes to a close with a record of 9-2. And Sandy Creek advances to host Plainview in the state semifinals next week on this field. Again, for Justin Reimers and Alvin Harmon, I'm Trayton Harmon. Thank you for listening to the Class D1 quarterfinals here on 94.1 The Brand.
Nobody knows trucking like the experts at Flatland Enterprises. Flatland Enterprises is a proud sponsor of Sandy Creek Athletics. The Fairfield Co-op is a small-town co-op that strives to bring the best customer service to you and is a proud supporter of Sandy Creek Athletics. Go Cougars!
JPL Crane Incorporated is proud of the hard work the Sandy Creek Cougars have put in this season. Good luck and go Cougars!